Think we're all set? Cool. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name's Twice. This half of a butt is Spook, also known as Lusta Burns when she's eaten a Q-tip. Or tried to. Definitively, we've never caught her actually eating Q-tips, and we've had to lock them away like in a gun safe. We don't own any guns. But it's essentially the same safety concerns. Will my dumb child accidentally kill themselves? Let's make sure no. Anyways, hey, welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, age 16. Lots of things happened in the last episode, such as everybody dying. Nope, that's about... No, there's also a refresher colonizer ship that just so happened to also call us criminals that it seems like the adults may have left without, you know, actually having something. I think you like the flower. I hope you find it useful. You don't like the flirt. We've done that flirt too many times, and it's worked 0 times out of like 7. So, that's Rex's little friend. Go on, impress me then. Why should I care about what you have to say? Yeah, you're just such a pleasant dude. You know what? You don't get anything. You're more miserable than Mars. But Nem is absolutely smitten with you, which is... what's the word? Depressing, yeah. Do you like fruit? Yeah. Rex likes sticks and also likes hugs. Mars just be chillin'. Don't tell me about working at the depot, because it just doesn't work. Oh. We hit a loyalty. Rex's construction project. You find Rex in an empty space outside the lab, setting up a construction holo projector and running through different projections of future buildings, taking notes of each. He looks up from his hollow palm as you approach and bursts into a huge smile. Why, Solase? Banjo. The newest member of the colony construction crew. Surveying the colony for places to build new private family quarters. People are going to want to raise families here real soon. Isn't that real? Why the construction crew? Oh, it's not to like. Get to be outside almost every day and get to make something great. And hey, have you seen the bods and the rest of the construction crew? Woo. Woo. Besides, I think I kind of got an idea of what I want to contribute to the colony. I want to build a bar. Real one, not just a canteen. Nice decor, space for live music, cushions everywhere, fun drinks. Mars has been helping me with details. Can you imagine? He sighs dreamily. A place where the whole point is just relax and be with your friends. That sounds like a great idea. I think so too. People need leisure time. We need time to connect with our humans. We're social creatures. We need our packs. All I want to do is help people connect with each other, you know? I love building things. I love cooking things. I love making people happy. Coming together is to create something is why we're alive. He gestures around. I don't mean buildings. I mean, they're all right. But what I'm really into is everything that goes into making a building. It's more than just walls and a ceiling. It's an agreement between people that we're going to form a society. That we're going to cooperate to make something bigger than ourselves, and then we're going to meet there in peace. It's a 4 if my stress is over 50. I'm stressed out a lot, so... Sorry, I'm just really passionate about this stuff. Rex shakes his head, clearing his thoughts. Now this and hugs. We humans are also really good at hugs. Hey, can you help me? Can you bring me any mushwood sticks or logs you find, actually? I want to start stockpiling them, so when I get approval, we're good to go. What's in it for me? Angling for another kiss, he teases. Sounds like a fair trade to me. Give me some wood. Pausing to wiggle his eyebrows evocatively. And we'll see what happens. I don't really know if we had a great plan to where we were at. I mean, I know you like that, right? Alright, you're still depressing. Nomi is camped out in the lounge with her holopad screen spread out before like a drawing table, and another screen collection of photos of a manticore. Nomi looks between the two screens, her brow furrowed in concentration as they scribble directly on the screen with a stylus. What you doing? Well, I want to write and illustrate a story about aliens, like in Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform, except using the Xenos here on Vertumna, like manticores and faceless and stuff, but they can talk, and instead of attacking colony, they help people instead. Well, that sounds cool. Thanks. Got the idea from the second Turbo Girl Hyperjet OVA. You know, the one where the Medusa demons show up and the aliens and the Turbo Girls have to band together to fight their common enemy? I remember that part. Oh, they exclaim. That reminds me, so I'm trying to brush up on my Xeno anatomy, and I'm totally fine with I'm not allowed to love to. Oh, right, because I'm not creative. Forgot about that. Feel I haven't been here long enough to make sure it feels right. To make it go pop. And I want to make sure I'm being, sensitive about stuff I don't know a lot about. Could you help me with some of the world building? I can try. You spend an enjoyable afternoon helping Nomi with her story. When you're done, they give you a big hug and thank you profusely for your help. Shoot. What have we been doing? Did we finish exploring? Well, there's only one way to find out, actually, isn't there? 8 events remaining. No, because that's a new month. Well, wait. No, I think there's just... We just have more to do. It respawns every year, not every, like, month. Or every 3 months. So let's, keep on a-truckin'. I mean, one of those events I cannot touch. That part's true. Because it doesn't let me. I don't have the stats or something, but we'll see. Anyways. I've been saved a few times from certain doom, or at least discomfort, and it can't have been a coincidence. Something or someone has taken an interest in you. You're being followed. You're beginning to get a feel for this place and its danger, so the next time you hear the mournful hoot of a passing air squid, you head towards it instead of away, keeping an eye out for anyone watching you from the cliffs. There, just as you think you're going to grab the tentacles and fly it to the kite to get your saber to show up, you see a shadowy humanoid figure appear over the ridge. You make eye contact and both freeze. His almond-shaped eyes widen in his not quite human face, and he slips out of sight again. Well, let's track him carefully. Rather than rush after him, use your tracking skills to carefully follow his path. Sneak up on him. You pounce like a manticore, and you tumble to the ground. You pin his arms. We found a new person. You get a good look at his face for the first time. The long, delicate features, the odd tone of his skin, almost purple, the fact that he followed and looked like he's right out of, like, a Vogue magazine. His glittering alien eyes. Before he can answer your questions, you jump off him and back away. Ooh, what is he? He brushes the dirt from his clothes and stands up tall. Very tall. You take another step back to get a good look at him. You catch a glimpse of pale purple wrists under his tattered black sleeves, delicate like bird bones. I am a gardener, he purrs, and you're trespassing on my planet. Now that you can see all of them, you confirm he's definitely not human, besides the purple tint to his skin. He's also just constructed differently. Human but not, and taken as a whole, those little discrepancies add up to something that is decidedly alien. He laughs, a light and infectious chuckle that sounds more animal than human. It goes on for a bit too long. I think he might be poking fun at you. Actually, you're the alien here, if you think about it. You do think about it. He's right. He jumps onto a large rock and crouches, eyeing you thoughtfully. Let's make a deal, he says. He speaks with an odd inflection, putting the wrong stress on things, but the words themselves come easily enough to him. I'm not supposed to talk to you, it's against the rules, he says, but since you've caught me, I can grant you one wish. He smiles mischievously. Is that a joke? I want to know more about you. In time, Slonisai, I hope. He pauses and his eyes unfocus for a moment. He stares straight ahead, unblinking. Then he slowly stretches like a cat, stands up. Well, this has been fun, but I'm afraid duty calls. My name is Symbiosis, by the way. Or Sim, if you like. He doffs an invisible hat towards you, jumps behind the rock, and disappears. Literally, he disappeared. You search all around and find no trace of where he might have gone or how. Stars. You just met an alien. I'm glad we found him. I mean, he didn't seem hostile, so I don't think he's the one that's directing. Maybe we're just unlucky that they've been directing animals our way, but... Was that the boss event? Maybe. You haven't been down into the deepest crevices of the ridges, where the crystals grow thick and the air is stagnant and dead. It's already sweltering on the ridges, but in the chasms you can see the heat warping the air like it's a permanent fog. Utopia says the air's so thick and still that you can't even use your glider down there. At least one thing survives in the haze, though. When you take a break for lunch one day, you can see flickers of silver dart in and out like fog, like the ripples on a lake. To unpack your tiffin box, the silver flashes come up out of the fog and begin to surround you. They're animals, eyeless, almost translucent creatures about the length of your arm, trailing meters-long tentacles behind them. Their mournful hooting is magical and strange. Look them up on your holopalm. Oh, air squid babies. Wait, air squid are predators. That shouldn't even count, though. Oh, right. That makes sense, actually. I guess I'm just going to put an 8 there. I guess that was the best score I could get there. Alright. You duck behind some roots and keep perfectly still as the creepy creatures float around and past you. They don't seem to be hunting for food. Must be on their way somewhere. Air squid adults are solitary hunters, but the juveniles form large groups and move together fluidly like schools of fish. Once they're a safe distance away, you take some notes on their social behavior. Oddest thing is how many there were. Hundreds of the things, but mature air squid are very rare creatures, more often heard than seen. Must be a tough life if so few of them reach adulthood. Oh, hi, Sim. You're walking up a trail and you're caught by surprise. It's Sim, and he's running? You're knocked to the side as he pushes past you, running in the opposite direction with barely a glance. Shout and chase after him, and after a few seconds, it becomes clear you don't have hope of finding Sim when he doesn't want to be found. You turn and continue along the path, and around the next bend, you spot a familiar face. Utopia. She's collecting rock samples with a pickaxe like an old-timey prospector. What the hell was that? She demands. Oh, just an alien named Sim. Utopia squints at you in her trademark gruff humor. An alien, eh? Is that some kind of role-playing thing? She yanks her pickaxe off her shoulder. Whatever, just watch where you're running, okay? Ground's loose around here. You agree, happy to be out of this conversation without any trouble. Continue along the path before Utopia asks any more questions. You want for a couple minutes before you see Sim again. Seems to be in good humor despite the close call. Oh, he says, leaning against a tree. It is tiresome to be so secretive. Wipes his eyes brimming with mirth. It's such a pleasure to be around you and Dis and not have to hide myself. He sobers quickly. Best if you exercise discretion, though. It's not the right time for the gardeners to be formally introduced. To do so too early would cause a great degree of chaos. Yes, even the female surveyor, he continues. I do like her, but I've learned from my limited experience with your kind that adults of your species do not react well to surprises. It's good to hear, though, because I do need something from you. Data. Please do not be alarmed, he says placatingly. I don't mean sensitive information such as personnel and defenses. I mean only the contents of your digital cultural archive. Like holobots? Yes, exactly. Here, holographic recordings of music, movies, books, cultural artifacts only. I promise. Why? Well, is it obvious? I wish to know more about your kind. I wish to learn how to act in such a way that is not so discomforting to humans. Yeah, okay. Truly? That would take a great deal more convincing. You are surprising. It's such a pleasure. Sim's gentle smile grows warmer. Tell Sim that you can likely find the mem drive in engineering and fill it with the data he wants. But I request payment of another kind. I'm going to flirt with aliens, too. We're just going to flirt with everybody that lets us. Oh. Sim startles and laughs, his hand shooting up to cover his mouth. You're so bold, Solanasai. That is a quality I genuinely admire about you. What a marvelous gift to be able to simply voice whatever is on your mind without the burden of forethought. Taps his lip thoughtfully. Perhaps watching your holographic videos will help me understand the nuances of your request. Alright, I made it to here, and then I pulled out a crystal, and I went kablooey. I do kind of remember that. I do remember the kablooey. Well, we had 1 year of glow that wasn't terrible. Giant snake dragons. We're just waiting patiently. It's like a train crossing. The gargantuan dragon has been slowly lumbering over this ridge for at least half an hour, its body disappearing into the heat haze of the chasms on both sides. Its feet slowly undulate across the cracked soil, making shushing noises and scattering boulders in its wake. That seems stupid. Let's do it. Climb on its back. The creature is moving more than slowly enough for you to climb up, using its large soft spikes as handholds. It's going to take hours to get anywhere interesting, but from up on its back you can see further. Also, there are other creatures up here. You climbed up right next to a cluster of dorbs moths, heads tucked under their wings like they're sleeping. In the other direction, there's even a bush bub. Or rather, like a pile of rocks and some twigs. Alright, well, let's climb down the other side. Easily done. You're free and clear on the other side of the commuter train creature. I only ignored that one because I think there's a boss event here. Precarious natural land bridge drops down sharply on both sides. Kick a rock over the side. Don't hear it hit bottom. Do you cross? Yes. Very carefully. You accidentally sent a few more pebbles skittering over the edge and think, well, better them than me. Oh, it's this. Look at this. This is an entirely different person when he's outside the colony walls, without people constantly trying to correct his asocial behavior. It's like he's blossomed into someone who's actually confident. The more time you spend with him out here, the more glimpses you catch of the real Dis. Bet you can't do this, he says, jumping off a huge boulder and doing a cool roll at the end. Wait, no, bet you can't do it with your eyes closed. I can. You and Dis cavort around, daring each other to do more and more dangerous things. Dis isn't scared of anything. You think you see something up on one of the plateaus above you. The cliffside is covered in convenient vines. Alright. That sounds cool. If I erase the next checkpoint, you won't get hurt. So there's no fares. You leave them in the dust. The two of you run on and continue your day. We have limits on our flirtations. We've discovered this. A beautiful little locust lands on your arm. It calmly losses its face with its forearms, vibrates its wings like it's cooling off. Poor little guy's all alone. Let's befriend it. It's a locust, which doesn't seem possible. But, hey, you never know. Wait, why did I... Oh, card gets +2. Oof. Like a 6, 7, 8. That gets +2, which makes it into that, and then I can double that into 20. and then like a 1 and a 0 maybe. And then let's see, 3. Why did that? 6, 7. I don't know. Good enough. You can look it up on the hollow palm. It's a mask wing, named because it's frightened. It opens its wings all the way and flips them forward, making it look like a grimacing manticore. Scary. Even scarier is how much they can eat. They usually eat leafy plant matter, but they're not above eating fabric, wood, hair, or even skin. They swarm in dust and in hot places like the ridges. You see something out of the corner of your eye and look up from your new friend. Oh, In the distance, you see haze above the ground. It's locusts. Each one bigger than your fist, these insectoids can eat their weight in under an hour. There are millions of them out there, and they'll be here soon. Your buddy takes off to join his friends, and you gotta go. You make it to your glider in time, thankfully. Come back to this place later in the week with foliage. There have been now stripped bare. The only thing still standing are the crystals, glinting in the sunlight. Boss event? Boss event. Boss event? What's this? That's a new one. What is this strange device? I agree. Hope I discover that before things go sour, but I doubt I will. Expeditions has been collecting energy readings from this area, tracing the invisible ley lines of power like the one from the thumper that brought you here in the first place. Pointed you to this cave, an excess of power, the convergence of many lines. You can feel the energy. It's different here, like a barely perceivable hum that prickles up the back of your neck. Like something is watching you. It's likely this was some sort of important place for the convergent domain, Utopia says. Leaning on her glider. I've sent teams through, but it gets mighty tight in there. Hoping you and Dis might have better luck wiggling in there. Maybe the caves inside open up again. If they do, take plenty of readings and report back to me. Dis is vibrating beside you on nearly the same frequency as the weird power fluctuations. This is the real deal, he whispers, mostly to himself. It's hard to shake the feeling of being watched. Back, you're sure? Oh, yes. Of course. There he is. You can see Sim's mysterious form up there, watching you from a nearby ridge. He holds up his hand in greeting when he sees you looking. Utopia nods, leads you to it. Let's talk to Sim first, shall we? You ensure Utopia is good and gone before you kick up your glider. Go talk to Sim, telling Dis you're going to go take a quick scout of the area. Sim looks delighted when you land beside him. Getting warmer, he sings songs. Hot. Very hot. I'm not supposed to tell you anything, but it's just so interesting to watch you figure things out. Human. So curious and so smart. You're not getting anything useful out of him. You return to Dis, telling him that everything looks all clear. Alright, well, let's prep the caving equipment. Anti-grav belt. Well, let's go in. Oh boy. The narrow entrance leads to a bigger room that animals have clearly used as a den. It's enormous, with glowing mushrooms on the walls and piles of bones in some crevices. In some places, the walls are made of iridescent convergent domain obsidian, like this was once a great hall millennia ago. You feel a cool breeze coming from somewhere, but it'll be tricky to find in the dark. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Okay. That's fine. Why? Oh, because that's wild, so it could be anything, but most importantly, it's not. Could make that into like a 14 and then toss both of these 2s there. Yeah, we take that. Nice. Best score. Find the source of the breeze by tossing some fine sand into the air and watching which way the dust blows. It's a very tight crack. Good thing you and Dis are so small. You squeeze through and have to shimmy along your bellies for about 10 meters, pushing your gear ahead of you. It's uncomfortable, but Dis's excitement draws you on. Past the crack, there are fewer signs of animals. The walls are smooth-grown obsidian, which has a kind of melted rainbow oil slick look. There are deeply carved glyphs on the walls at various intersections, like room designations or street names, you wonder? And other kinds of basins, alcoves grown into the rock, full of odd protrusions, all ancient and worn and inexplicable now. It feels homey. Come to realize, the Convergent Domain must have lived underground. That's why there's so few ruins on the surface. Seems like a better solution than whatever the heck we've had to deal with every single glow. As you follow the cave complex down, it's clear this used to be a well-traveled path. The corridors branching off to other places are now blocked off, as if a big earthquake had rattled the whole area. Only this one main path is still clear. It's too convenient to be a coincidence. The floor of the cave slopes downward like a slide, and it's quite slippery. That's okay. We have a lot of perception because we are explorers. I have also stressed myself out. But I think we're okay. We're not going to kick ourselves out of this event. You follow the cave system down, 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 all the way to what must be the bottom of the cliffs. You have to climb down a 3-story wall in the last section and are grateful to your anti-grav belt for making it easier. Still tired, though. It's the dim light below. Daylight? You're surrounded. You emerge into a hidden valley totally surrounded by tall cliffs. Did you come down all that way? You're surrounded by the ruins of the Convergent Domain buildings, in much better condition than the windswept ones on the surface. It's perfectly still here, and as quiet as space itself. What was this? Nis whispers reverentially. Some sort of converger facility? It feels so familiar. You remember this place from your dreams and feel a throbbing sense of importance that is a bit unnerving. Something momentous happened to you here, or will happen to you someday. You poke around a little and call Utopia and give her your coordinates. She swings down on her glider with extra ones for you and Dis tethered behind it. You're happy you won't have to climb all the way back up. She whistles. Great find, kids. This place didn't show up on any of our aerial scans. Took me a while to find a route in. It bushed. Oh, no. Let's look around and get some reading. We head on back to the depot and get some rest. Don't worry, we aren't going to push on without you. I don't think there was actually anything left there. Probably. Oh my goodness. Mid-wet. I'll zoom in at this point. You know, I said I was going to be a rebel, and then I'm just too nice. This is renegade options all over again. I just can't do it. Applying to work. Oh, right, the kitchen. Wasn't there a way to relax on the walls? That might be more Dis than Nem, though. I don't want to be an actual guard, though. One friendship with the Dis. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. To the park it is. +1 bond with my Hopeye and Vriki. Kinda likes to spend the evenings outside in the garden with you. Stays warm for a long time out there, even after the last sunset. It's still so different than the constant temperature of the stratospheric. Living on board a spaceship felt like nothing. Never thought about the temperature or humidity at all, but the weather was always changing here. Always a little warm and humid, even and quiet. The Hopeye is a lot more relaxed around me. Still pretty skittish. You don't want to see what those claws on the end of their foot can do, but they seem a lot more relaxed in your presence. You're petting it again when it starts to chitter at you in agitation. Oops, what's wrong, Mrs. Hoppington? It flips over on its back and wiggles, its lighter stomach fur looking impossibly soft and enticing. Do you dare? Or is it a trap? It's always a trap. Always, always, always a trap. But I fall for it anyways. Oh, you're not here anymore. You left. Alright, well that's fine. I'm definitely not sad about it at all. What, like a 3, 4, 5? Or 5? No, because then we can't do that. 4, 5, 6, maybe? No, because we only have 1 4. We'd have to do like a 3, 4, 5, which is, that's okay. Four, 5, 6, 7. Maybe like a 5, 6. 7, 8. 5, 6. No, that just don't work. Do I care? No, not really. I think we're good. Theoretically, I think I could toss all 3 of these 1s together and a 3 and it'd still be fine, so. But the real big money, big bucks is tossing all these gems on here and seeing what happens. Alright, so toss that there. There. Yeah, I think that's... Oh, that's even better. Speak from experience. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Too smart to fall for this trick. After a few moments, Mrs. Hoppington seems to lose interest. You spot a bug circling lazily overhead and flip back onto their foot, chittering as they begin to track with their 4 blinking eyes. Nice. Extra bonuses for pairs now. My Vriki, oh, there we go. Haven't given up training Squidly Feederson to follow simple commands. They have the ability to understand you're trying to communicate with them. There's just a huge learning barrier. Cal gives the idea to try clicker training, getting them to associate verbal commands with action rewards, using a clicking noise as positive reinforcement. Alright. Yeah, that's how I always go. I'll go in and I'll be like, I'm gonna play a morally gray person. And then the first choice is like, do something objectively good, or mildly disagree with this person, and my heart immediately breaks, and then we do nothing instead. Oof. It works great. Like a 5, 6, 7. Three, 4, 5, 6. That won't do, will it? Alright, 7, 8. Also 7. Maybe 4 and 4. We get extra money for pairs, so to speak. Oh, just kidding. I don't yet. It's fine. And that's how twice I ended up getting all the extra reports to do at work. Hey now. I was just describing how I feel like in games. +3. Oh, that's great. Success! Use clicking as a shared language, and Squidly Feederson quickly begins to respond to your commands. By the end of the afternoon, you get pretty reliable results from both stay and follow. This is great. Vriki must be more intelligent than people give them credit for. Maybe Vriki will be the species that evolves to be codependent with humans, like dogs evolved from wolves. Maybe. I'm just happy we finally got that. I don't like that card. We're not very sociable. We're getting close on engineering, perception, and a couple other things. But we're also getting close to the next glow. I mean, the last glow wasn't bad, but I'm pretty sure we have the human equivalent of Zap Brannigan at our disposal. So I'm just expecting something to go horribly wrong. Sooner rather than later. You and Dis are sitting on the tailgate of one of the expedition's vehicles, shelling bobber seeds with your teeth and spitting the hard bits on the ground. Now and then, when he points out something funny a passing surveyor does, or spots something under the mush trees. It's the easiest way to talk to Dis, by not talking at all. Dis has always been like this. Being isolated from other kids have made him thoughtful. Out of everyone, you think Dis might understand about Sim and be able to keep the secret. Do you tell him? I mean, I don't trust him at all. But this seems more interesting. Tell Dis that you saw something interesting when you're out on expedition. Dis perks up immediately, turning to you. Yeah? What's that? About an alien, Dis. His jaw drops. His face got an interesting color. You're worried for a moment he's going to be upset with you for teasing him, but no way. But I met an alien too, Slana. What was yours like? Tall, dark, and handsome. But not dark. Tall, pink, and handsome. Purple and handsome? Dis's color deepens. He looks at a loss for words, opening and closing his mouth a few times. Wait, you mean Sim? You nod, and Dis suddenly becomes extremely interested in the hem of his sweater. Sim is more pretty than handsome, I think. He mumbles. Made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone else, Dis says earnestly. Said if other humans find out about the gardeners, we'll all be in a lot of trouble, so we can talk about Sim, but we have to keep it a secret. Okay, so the Western Ridge ruins. Yeah, I'm sure the gardeners are related to those ruins somehow. I asked him if the gardeners built what used to be here, and he said the ruins built the gardeners. He's always speaking in riddles. Okay, this will be our secret. Good. Says simply, and then repeats it. Good. Go back to shelling bomber seeds in silence, watching the colony go about its business. Met the strange figure again? Sure did, just a bit ago. They look like this. That. That's kind of handy. I even have a full portrait for you. Yep, went back and finished off our exploration of the ridge. I found some ruins and an alien. Download data for Sim? Oh yeah. Data on human culture, television shows, music, books, things like that. You have unlimited access to Congruence's media archives through your holopalm, but for Sim it'll be a little more complicated. Yeah, I'll just steal one. It's fine. Robot Workshop is good to just look. You sneak in, nobody around. Good. You rummage around until you find what looks like a portable holo unit in a drawer, and then find a port in the wall to plug it into. Interface pops up with options. Copy data onto it. The tiny drive. Perfect. Start by carefully copying your very favorite vids and games, and realize there's a ship ton more room on this tiny device. Sweep in several thousand more vids, as well as the entire contents of the school's Learningpedia. Slip the unit into your pocket. Congruence console above you suddenly flickers and lights up. Congruence seems amused. She doesn't sound alarmed, though. No, you shouldn't be in here. But ask the neutral voice, what are you doing here, Slonisai? I don't have any persuasion. I just came to see you! Congruence allows her expression to show doubt, though. She seems flattered. You chat for a bit, and she tells you to get out before you get in trouble. She seems to be lonely. Can artificial intelligence get lonely? It's something you've never really thought about before. You guess she must miss Professor Hal quite a bit. Alright, engineering, we're at 95. I think one more engineering session and we're good, but that means it'd be best to just get it passively and not waste time on it. So I think we're going to study the life sciences instead. It's time for our end-of-term project again. You, Tange, and Cal are all ready to prove you're capable scientists. Seeing as everyone works together in the colony, you expect to come up with a project that the three of you can agree on. You can already tell that's going to be a problem. We should do a genetics experiment, insists Tange. With access to the lab around the clock, I'm already in there every day. It'd be so simple to just come up with an experiment for something I'm already working on. And efficient. It's a perfect choice. Cal considers. I don't know. Lab work's only half the picture, you know? I think we should go to geoponics or some hands-on biology. Beamer's almost ready to give birth. I think she's had trouble during her last calving. I think he's talking about a float cow. We should volunteer to monitor her around the clock and document the process, then we can help deliver the calf. Tange looks disgusted. Absolutely not. I'm not getting my hands all up in some float cow's guts just because you want to play farmer instead of scientist. She pokes her finger into Cal's chest. What are your data points? What's your hypothesis? Do you have a control group? Where's the science, Cal? You're better than others just because you work indoors, Cal snaps. It's so rare to see someone actually get under his skin. Every day I live, breathe, biology, genetics, medicine, and ecology, just like you. Science isn't just about doing experiments. Observation is important too. So is compassion and empathy. Tan scoffs. I click on the wrong thing. They both... Oh, God. They both look at you. Oh, no. They both look upset. Oh, no. I mean, I'm good friends with Tange, and I'm not as good friends with Cal. So I'm gonna do that. So glad you see, and like, we're all in on the animals. We're like this passive explorer. Yes, we're really smart, but we're not, like, cutthroat. Glad you see things my way, Cal says. He has the look of someone who's trying not to be smug, but isn't quite getting there. I guess if we do all the classes, we're almost finishing all of them. It's cool. This one, +3 to straights. Right. Again, very heteronormative. That's how we go. That's how we roll. 3, 4, 5. Also less of an ass, to be honest. It's true. You got me there. And yet, Tange is my secret admirer, chosen by the game. And I flirted with most of the people on this planet. Where this leads me, I don't know. I am unsure. Let's just dupe it up here. I don't need that much. And we'll probably get a gem thing. Yeah, there's the +2 to cards with gems. That's 4, and another 4, and 6, and 8, and 6, and that should be oh my god, it's not. 1 second. How about that? Hey, let's go. That was not even remotely what we could have done. Did get a lot of successful flirts there, though. Pre-secret admirer. It's true. I haven't stopped. I see the lipstick, I almost always click it. Unless it seems like an extremely bad time or they're a butthole. Spend a few days absorbing meat where the float cow is so huge and gravid she can barely float at all. You're on watch when she goes into labor. Oh, Tangent actually was okay with it. See, she's alright. Eventually. Call Tangent Cal to the barn, then Cal gets in there, safely delivers the calf. 1 extra card when drawn. We birth the float cow. Look at that thing. Have I flirted with the mushroom man? No, but I have flirted with the muffin man. Is that close enough? And he really gets in there, because the calf gets stuck at one point and Cal has to go up in his shoulder and get it. It's gruesome and scary, but in the end, both cow and calf are alive. After another week of veterinary care and close study, you write up your report. Instance looks it over with disinterest, but even if she can't find anything at fault with it, this will do. Congratulations, you pass. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Glow time. Drury Lane, trying to steal my man. You know, fastest way to my heart through my stomach. Some might disagree and say that the fastest way to the heart is right through my chest, and those people are the villains from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And if someone says that to you, you should get out of there. But, yeah, other than that, how you doing? How was the weekend, Pirate? Glow is no time to be exploring. Gotcha. I guess we'll rest? Well, we're gonna get stressed anyways. Maybe we don't rest. Maybe we try to finish off, like, another thing. Did I get something for you? No. That strange device... Oh, right. That we don't know what the strange device is. I'm gonna give it to Tangent. Anyways, here's some crystals. I don't actually know if you like crystals. I know you don't dislike flowers. You like the Glow's music? I've enjoyed most of the music. It's atmospheric, but I think it works really well. Finally, an acceptable season. Not too bright, not too warm, Tange says, looking relaxed for the first time all year. If only it was like this all year long. Tange, people die every time this comes by. How's the research coming? What is that, 80 reasoning or higher? Did we just hit it? Nice. Tange shrugs. Well enough, she concedes, but I confess I've actually hit something of a block. Sure, the answer's right in front of me, but I can't grasp it. Take a look at her work. Immediately you come to the conclusion that it's been just out of her reach. +5 during blue challenges. Nice. Tange rubs her eyes. Oh, you are formidable, she says. I've been coming at it wrong this entire time. Taps a few notes into her Hall of Palm and smiles. Thank you for being someone on this stupid rock I can trust to know what they're doing. You're welcome, I think. Let's see. There's no way we're studying for humanities. Do we tutor children? Do we go and maybe go more like animal style? Yeah. Like xenobiology or something. Xenobotany, sorry. Biology and organization. Or just work on the farm. Biology and toughness. We have lost some toughness. Let's do that. Not super stressful either. It's a proud day for your dad, but a little sad too. Greets you at the gate to the gardens, gives you a big hug. If only your mom could see you, be here to see you, my little tomato. She'd be so proud you're following in her footsteps. Well, says holding you at arm's length to get a good look at you. Let's get a move on, shall we? Maybe Chief Cultivator now. Doesn't mean I can't spare some time to teach you how things work around here. We do more than shovel dirt, you know. Finally, some real farming. Your dad shows you around the fields and the geoponics domes. You mostly work in the fields with the mature earth crops like the potatoes and the corn, though. Sometimes we'll need you inside working with the hydroponics from the heliopause. He frowns. We'll figure out how to farm these native plants better, though. You owe it to your mom to try. So the rest of the day pulling weeds, watering plants. You're dirty up to your waist by the time you're finished, but it's good, honest work. Proud to be able to do something that helps out the colony. Cal gives you a high five and invites you to her cool drink in the cafeteria. All the other agriculturalists join you. Of all the places in the colony you've worked, geoponics is the most like a family, maybe because they've always been your family, next to your mom and dad. Was okay, just use the time to relax? Me too. I was a gigantic turd after we streamed on Friday, and I am proud of it. You know what? No, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to... Well, actually, I don't have a choice about doing that yet or not. So that's going to be a 5. That'll also be a 5. But we can change that into an 8. And then, like, this, and then, I don't know, something like this. I don't know. I did go to the annual euchre tournament, not annual, monthly, that Chelsea's family takes on. Got second this time in this completely weird made-up card game. And there was only one awkward conversation where I tried to share my interests with someone older than 50. And they came back with a slightly racist diatribe about something about that. So, wasn't a family member. Not a family member, just a family friend. And I've dealt with that a lot, so it wasn't a big deal. It was like, hey, I liked Everything Everywhere All at Once a lot. It was a great movie, and I'm really happy it won Best Picture. Never bringing that up again. Oof! Anyways, you're lying in bed staring at the wormhole through your window when you hear a deep thump resonate through the ground, then a second one, quieter. Woven roof of your room quivers, unleashing a season's worth of fine glowing dust to sift through the air. Through your window, your voices sounding the alarm. The annual offensive is here. Leading the charge are 2 massive faceless. Holy crap! Okay. Grab a plasma rifle and report to the front, where a line of soldiers taking up arms waiting for orders. The colony prepares to defend itself against the 2 building-scale faceless as well as a teeming swarm of smaller xenos that seethe towards you. Hold steady. Orders Chief Security Chief Rhett. I just read things backwards. Keep the line. No! Governor Lum yells. Bring them closer. Draw them in. Pulls Rhett out of the way and waves his arms wildly. Rhett stops himself from shoving Lum back, but just barely, you can tell. Are you serious? We can't let them any further into the colony. We're gonna fight them on our territory, Lum cries, raising his plasma rifle over his head with one hand. We have the walls. Let's use them. Let them come inside and pick them off, one by one. You can't pick off a faceless, Rhett sputters from the sidelines. Lum smiles maniacally. You can see the gleam of his teeth from here. I have a plan, he roars. Just follow my lead. With that, he turns and begins to run towards the approaching animals, roaring taunts and firing wildly into the fray to draw them close. At a loss, Rhett motions you all to fall back and let the animals approach. The area just inside the gates becomes a swirling melee of smaller Xenos and plas rifle fire, the two faceless lumbering slowly behind. Well, let's try to stay out of the way. Yeah, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. 5, 6? 5, 7. It's fine. It's all good. Perception is almost there as well. Not exactly a professional soldier, but you manage to hold your own against the Xenos, even though you still scream and retreat when something gets too close. You don't injure any humans with your plas rifle, at least. Out of the artillery smoke, wafting over the battlefield, Lum comes running. Here they come! Here they come! He shouts joyfully and plows through the gates, two faceless galloping behind him. It is without a doubt idiotic and horrendously dangerous. Can't help it. You hit record on your holopalm and film the ensuing chaos. Well, look out. He's about to do something stupid. You catch a glimpse of Chief Rhett putting his hand over his face and sighing. A squad of Helios soldiers take up the charge, help separate the faceless in the open area in the middle of the colony. You have horrible flashbacks to the first time you saw a faceless inside these walls. From the looks on the face of the other Stratos, you're not the only one. Then you're all thrown to the ground by a tremendous explosion. Fire engulfs the center square, roasting the two faceless in an inferno that blasts the sweat from your pores. Rocks and chunks of dirt patter all around you with the occasional thunk of burning mushwood. Soldiers nearest the blaze all recoil in surprise. Clearly no one but Lum knew the square had been rigged with explosives. You don't think anyone was caught in the blast, but it was close. Lum stands before the blaze, laughing and firing at the two tortured faceless as they roast to death. You raise your holopalm to capture the image, his silhouette dark against the column of flame and smoke. It was ridiculously dangerous and stupid, but it does look pretty cool in your recorded footage. People filter out their hiding places, shielding their faces from the heat coming off the bonfire in the middle of the square. On the horizon, the first watery rays of quiet sunrise are struggling to make a dent in the hot orange glare. The colony's fire suppression system is turned on the square, revealing the charred corpses of the two faceless. Oh. I could have had, unfortunately. But use the mining explosives? Utopia says, mighty bold of him. Those things blow a hole in the mountain or a creature, I suppose. She sighs. Wish you could have saved him from mining. That must have been the last of them, and we sure can't make more. She and her crew are out of earshot as they pick their way down the blast crater to carve up the faceless for recycling. Fortunately. The colony was well defended. You and the other colonists have been fortifying the defenses, putting security above all else. Tonight's defense was still a resounding, if messy, success. But if Utopia is right, you don't have any more of those explosives now. You can't just nanoprint unstable molecules like that. What are you going to do during the next attack? Great question. For next year! We got a ton in engineering, perception and animals, lots of exploring, lots of practical experience, a little bit of everything else. Friends with Dog, friends with No-No, friends with Cal, Tangent, an enemy, and an alien. So, that's pretty cool. Age 17, let's go. Oh my goodness, everyone's gotten a glow-up. Cal waves at you as you enter the garden, leaning on his shovel. Hey, Slosai, he calls, but his eyes look past you down the path where an enemy is beating the absolute tar out of a training dummy. Her fierce battle cries echo across the colony, making Cal wince. She's been going totally hard lately, huh? He says. He scratches his face, smearing dirt across his cheek. She asked me yesterday if I wanted to spar with her. She said it would be good for self-defense. Cal smiles sadly at the memory. I told her I don't want to fight. Not her, not a training dummy, and not anything on this planet. For real. Never seen her get so mad at me. She called me a baby and told me I'm just going to end up forcing everyone to protect me because I'm weak or helpless or whatever. He seems upset and stabs the ground a few times with his shovel. Just don't think it's right to fight anyone, especially the Xenos. They were here first. What do you think, Selenisai? I think it kinda... There's usually somewhere in the middle, but, I mean, we're gonna probably find out that it's a bad idea, but I kinda already knew that. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You sound like an adult, Calvin Grumps. They always tell us to see both sides of an argument, but I tried, and I just think if you have to hurt someone to get what you need, you don't deserve to have it. But what if you're really hungry? Well, I've lost my mom, and specifically, Nem lost her brother. I mean, none of these are going to convince Cal. My dude is pacifist as they come. It's totally scary, but you kind of shouldn't be putting your loved one in a situation where they could be in danger in the first... Yeah, we've really been doing that. Life depends on it? No, your life depends on it too. Okay. So they can attack. What if you're really hungry? I mean, that's one kind on you. It ain't fair to kill something just because you didn't think ahead. What if they attack you first? If someone attacks you first, you probably did something wrong. Maybe you shouldn't keep going. We're on a... We don't have a choice, Cal. But, I mean, I'm not going to argue with him at this point. I don't think so. I just lied to you. His eyes go back to Nem. She stops sparring with the training dummy who's looking up at the garden where she has a drink. Neither she nor Cal wave at the other. There's got to be a way to figure out how to live in peace with all the cool things that live on this planet. Like, hey, look at this weed I saw growing over here. Cal has such strong convictions. It's one of the things you like best about him, even when some people disagree with them. Spend a few hours with Cal in the garden. As he shows off there, he's getting ready for the next planting season. Adults are really starting to trust him with planting more as he gets older and beams with pride. When you finally head out, you're just as dirty as he is, but you feel so much lighter. Why does it keep doing that? Hey, Pops, how you doing? Oh, I can help him with the animals. I got animals up to... Is it animals up to 80 as well? Nice. Your dad is running some kind of test on the Trippets. He's playing different chords and trying to see if they have language or just making instinctive animal calls. Help them by holding up random objects, trying to determine if their sounds map to any understanding of what they're seeing. They're either saying kill all humans or linguini sports ball, your dad says, staring at the readout on his hollow palm. I just can't be sure. Great. Alright, that Mushwood log is going to Rex for his construction projects. How does Mars look? Why should I care for nature? Mars asks, flipping her hair over her shoulder. The only thing nature has ever done is kill my people. I refuse to be held hostage. You're 17. How your people? I refuse to be held hostage by a planet that doesn't want us here. She smiles. The overall expression is dangerous. If nature wants to kill us, well, it's only fair we try to kill it right back. Okay. Well, good for you. Rex has just lost his shirt. That's basically it. Over the years, a lot of people have started wearing a lot less clothing you remembered when you were growing up in the climate-controlled stratospheric. Definitely a lot less than in the holovids you brought from Earth. Rex, though. Rex is really acclimated. Take your own shirt off in solidarity. That's a shame. Awoo! Rex throws his head back and laughs so loud it echoes through the courtyard. He howls. You both giggle, then lock eyes for a few seconds that feel like literal months. Eventually, Rex fixes you with a fangy smile and scratches the back of his head. Does nice things to his whole chest-shoulder-bicep situation. Like we see, huh? And he's in, like sharing a secret. Me too, he whispers, and winks at you. That's great. I really just needed to give you a piece of wood, though. Because you're constructing something. And also a hug, because hugs are great. Thank you. There's Nomi Nomi. Nomi Nomi looks exactly 0% different. My mom and dad asked if I was getting serious with anyone. Nomi says, wrinkling their nose. Groceruni, right? I have a present for you. It's a crystal. Better be a doghouse. Alright. There's Tangent. Spot Tange heading behind this engineering wing and follow only to find she's disappeared. Then you look up and see an access ladder leading to a maintenance platform by the engine turbines, long silent and starting to rust. Wow. Climb back up to the platform. Tange is there, lying on her back, staring at the sky. Hatch beside her leads back into engineering. Must be how she knows about this place. She doesn't acknowledge you until you're almost standing over her, your shadow fighting the overcast light. She blinks with the sluggishness of someone who's only just remembered it's a necessity and licks her lips before she speaks. They need me in there? You shake your head, and Tange doesn't sigh in relief exactly, though her eyes slip closed again. Good. It's all too much right now, I thought. Her mouth twitches. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I'm doing up here. What's going on, Tangent? Tange huffs a small laugh, folds her hands over her stomach. I think I might be burned out or depressed. In Earth movies, depressed teenagers sneak out onto the rooftops. I confess, I don't think I see the appeal. Maybe it would be better if I had alcohol or cigarettes. She shakes her head, blanking out your mind with substances what my mom used to do, not me. I know how to take your mind off things. Tange nose crinkles. Wait, you can't seriously mean... She says, maybe another time. I appreciate the thought, but I can't imagine romantic entanglements right now. How's everything going on? What if I'm not looking for romance? An interesting proposal. Did you get the idea from the rumors about me and Mars? Tan sits up and slips her coat off her shoulders. Orgasm releases endorphins that can provide temporary relief from the symptoms of depression, she says, then tips her head at you with a cheeky smile. Not to put any pressure on you to perform, of course. Simply put, I could use the distraction. All right. What does this card do? I've released endorphins. It's a mutually beneficial arrangement. All right. Sounds good. We did it. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. I didn't have to read an actual, written out sex scene. That's nice. There is a cat in my driveway. There's nobody following that cat. Just the neighborhood cat. You wake alone, half remembering the cold absence of Tange's body as she pulls away to retrieve her clothes. The air feels wet, like it's about to rain. Is the cat gearing up to challenge it? Nah. If anything, they'd be great friends. Not really. I think if they ever noticed each other, it'd be a yowling fest. Roof leads into the lab where you spot Tangent Instance in deep, serious conversation. Instance's face hardens into a frown when she sees you slink past. She looks at if she wants to scold you, but Tange lays a hand on her arm. Tange looks at you over her shoulder. Her face is completely blank, though her eyes follow you as you make your retreat. That's great, but I didn't actually want to have sex with you. I mostly wanted to give you this weird device. Nope. I guess it wasn't needed. I thought you'd like it. I thought it would start a quest. You're by far the most science-y one, but it's fine. Catch Dim scarfing down some rations outside the garrison. Took a nap during my lunch break and ran out of time to eat. Too much to do. Alright, well, anyways, here's a flower. Even scales on the... Neat. I don't really want to talk to you. Do you have something? No, you have the exact same thing. How did you get a chin in a year? It's like Crimson Chin level chinage. Oh, look at this. Like a emo Mega Man. Am I here to make fun of you too? We've been exploring together for like a century at this point. Calm down. Jeez Louise. Alright. Engineering, creativity. Nummy. Tutor children would give us what? I think that's just reasoning, right? And empathy, sure. Oh, it's Nougat. You're tutoring Nougat and a couple of younger kids in ancient Earth geography. They're learning the names of the countries by pointing to them on maps and saying a few facts about them. It seems kind of pointless to memorize places that these kids will never see, but it's not like you can teach them much about Vertumnant geography yet. You're still discovering it. Billions of people, Nougat says, skeptically squinting at a hollow projection of Earth. How'd they fit everyone onto one little planet with all the trees and animals and stuff? Was it like one big colony? No. Life on Earth was brutal and hard. Humanity destroyed the environment and fought over what was left. There were no trees or animals left. Not as many as there should have been. Anyway. Most people were poor, hungry, and sick, and the ones who weren't kept all the nice things for themselves. At least your parents were lucky to escape on the stratospheric, and you were lucky to be born on it. You're all lucky to be here now, no matter what. At least Vertumna isn't Earth. Nougat looks bewildered. She doesn't really watch holovids, only the cheerful ones for kids that don't address Earth's decline, so she has no idea. But they still had, like, really, really tall buildings, right? Fit all the people she has? Yeah. You sigh and tell her they did. She nods in satisfaction. Goes back to her schoolwork. Stop doing this. No. We've thought about getting a second cat, because sometimes the cat looks lonely, but then every time that any person has come over, it's a lie. That cat is lying. There we go. Lots of reasoning, a little empathy. Nice work. It's my 17th birthday, but not just your birthday. Quiet is a time of new growth and celebration of life and hope. Not just for this year, but for humanity's presence on Vertumna for years to come. You and your friends are the symbol of that hope. Quite literally, you are the future of humanity. As you're all beginning to take your places as adults in the colony, the council's decided to throw a party in your honor. The Vertumna Youth Ball. Mars is organizing it, of course. You get an embossed invitation on real paper slipped under your door. Yeah, I guess I could go. Well, curses. Slip into some party clothes and head over to the lounge to celebrate, well, yourselves. And yourself, specifically. It is your birthday, after all. The lounge is all decked out. The decorations look expensive. Must have taken a lot of nanoprinter creds. Your friends are transformed, too. Everyone has dressed up and looking like the young adults you're becoming. You can hardly recognize some of them. Mars catches your eye and waves, her bangles jingling joyfully. She looks like a model from her holomags, every inch of her painted and perfumed. Slatisai, happy birthday. Glad you could make it, she says over the steady thrum of the music. Drinks are over there, make your song request to congruence, and take off your shoes. You look down at your boots and back up at Mars skeptically. Sokka, just like Earth, duh. At the refreshment table, Cal's stuffing his face with party food, and Rex shoved 2 glasses of punch in your hands. Gotta stay hydrated, he says, pouring himself another glass. We'll be sweating it out one way or another. He winks at you. Don't let them fool, Tangent mutters, joining you. She smears a glob of something pink and meaty looking on a cracker. It's a well-documented phenomenon that people inexperienced with imbibing alcohol begin to act as if they're drunk, even though they're completely sober. To Rex, she adds, I mean, of course, that I'm not going to suffer any bad behavior. Rex grins as he pulls a flask out of his vest and pours a healthy addition to his glass. Who says it's going to be all an act? Let's get a little loose. Come on, it's a party. I'm not a dancer. I like just hanging. Rex and Mars take the dance floor, joined by Nem and a reluctant-looking vase. Stand behind with the others to watch, still marveling how mature your friends seem tonight. They transform like grotty little grubs into beautiful Dorbs moths. This shows up late, skulks around the outside of the lounge, eventually coming to pick up the food at the table, and keeps his distance from Tangent. Cal eventually heeds the sirens call on the dance floor and saunters over to join the others. You're left making somewhat awkward small talk about the food with 2 siblings. This has stressed me out. That would stress me out too. Naomi, who's playing DJ with congruence, spins up something a lot slower, more romantic. Grab a partner and pull them in close, they announce dreamily, or whatever distance you both feel comfortable with. Everyone giggles awkwardly and shuffles around, feeling the intangible friction of teenage politics. Who dances with whom? Who makes the first move? Well, let's see. Secret admirer, I guess. Already shaking her head as you approach her for dance. Absolutely not. I'm going to be anywhere near that sweaty mess. Well, she didn't say she wouldn't dance. She resists you tugging her into a slow dancing position, but relaxes when she realizes you don't intend to take her away from the safety of the refreshment table. She dances with you a little mechanically, her nose turning more pink as the song goes on, and drops her arms immediately when it's done. You follow her gaze to the dance floor where Nem and Vase seem to have skipped dancing and gone straight to sucking face! Tange's lip curls. Ugh, thank you for not expecting me to do that. After the slow songs, Nomi spins Congruence's music library to something with a little more bounce to it. The dance floor once more floods with bodies ready to gyrate the night away. But the tunes are abruptly interrupted by Governor Lum's here speak jacking the feed. He strides to the stage, flanked by Security Chief Rhett. Everyone on the dance floor whines in unison and having some buzzkill adult stuff music, but Lum just raises hands and smiles indulgently. Look at all of you, he says. Young pioneers. I look at you, and I see the future, not just of this colony, but all of humanity. Catch a few people rolling their eyes. You've heard this before. Right here, good man, real good man, really the best of the colony. Share this poem from a great Earth poet. Lum continues. Now, I'm not one for poetry myself, but damn if it's not something I wanted to share with you kids tonight on the eve of something really big. Clears his throat and reads from his holopalm. We cannot tarry here. We must bear the brunt of danger. We, the youthful, sinewy races, all the rest of us depend. Down the edges, through the passes, up the mountain steep, conquering, holding, daring, venturing as we go the unknown ways. Pioneers, oh pioneers. We primeval forests felling, we the rivers stemming, vexing we, and piercing deep the mines within. We the surface broad surveying, we the virgin soil upheaving. Pioneers, oh pioneers. I will silently mouth the word boring. Rhett looks a little pained, but Lum continues. What do you think that poem means, kids? Does it mean we should sit here in our colony, politely waiting for this planet to make space for us? Clenches his fist evocatively in the air. No, it means we need to get out there. We need to grab Vertumna by the balls and make it. Respect. That's not how these... Whoa! He points to you specifically. I need you, the next generation, to lead the charge. This is your planet, and you're old enough now to defend it. I'm asking all eligible fighters to join squads massing at expeditions, get out there and attack those monsters where they live. We're taking the fight to them. No more hiding behind our walls. To your left, Vase and Nem lead the cheering that erupts. Lum and Rhett leave and the music spins back up again, but only a few diehard partygoers still want to dance. Everyone else was broken into small groups to discuss the announcement. That sounds dumb. But is it dumb in a way that I don't want to think about it? Like, it's so dumb? Is it dumb in just a way that makes me scared? Because it's gonna get us killed? Or is it dumb enough to make me angry? Because this man has two brain cells rubbing up against each other like a DVD screensaver. If I kill them, we can't romance the alien. Probably true. Yeah, that was real dumb. Real dumb. This bullshit, Cal exclaims, causing a few heads to turn. They're not even going to try to figure out why the animals are attacking us. They're just going to kill, kill, kill. Are we supposed to be better than that? This clearly agrees, though, much more quietly. I don't even know what's out there. I have no idea what they're up against, he mutters. That's true. Party fizzles out as everyone drifts away to the lounge. You return to find your dad has stayed up to make sure you got home safe. He's never done that before. Always been told the colony was safe. Now you see his sad eyes and you know that time is over. Great! Awesome! So exciting. Hey, I'm very disappointed with your romantic partnership, best friend. You're catching up with Nem between her drills when she looks over your shoulder and frowns. Ooh, this bloody apple, she curses, seeming to shrink behind you. She's here again. Turn to the other end of the gas, then you see a small crowd of young soldiers forming around Chief Steward Antecedent. She's handing out lunch tiffins and doling out hugs to anyone who comes within melee range, which is quite a few of them. You've noticed just from hanging around the garrison. Even some of the transplanted Helio soldiers have started calling her auntie. This must be why. Comes by every couple of days and then grumbles like, we're still kids in the creche playing in her skirts. It's so disruptive. Eventually the crowd around Antecedent thins and she makes it over to you and Nem. She greets you with a warm hug. She smells nice, like flour and yeast. Have you eaten? Not yet. Feed me. It's important to keep your strength up, my love, she says, and pats you on the cheek. Antecedent turns to Nem. You can almost feel the temperature in the room drop several degrees as Nem stonily stares down at her mother. Antecedent's smile grows thin as she clutches the handles of her basket. How about you, Annie? Have you eaten? Do you need... I'm fine. Just like I was yesterday and last week, I don't need you to manage me. If you're sure, Antecedent responds hesitantly. It's a mother's job to worry, Annie. She reaches out to lay her hand on Nem's scaly cheek, but Nem jerks backwards and slaps her hand away. Oh yeah? You just sit around and worry? Must be nice. I bet you'd like it if that was all I did too, huh? If I quit being a soldier and spend all day cuddling babies and wiping noses and fixing clothes. Like you did. Yeah, okay. Maybe don't be such an ass. I mean, I was also probably an ass when I was 17. Stay out of this, Solana Sai. Got empathy for it. Never thought that, Annie, she says, laying her hand on her heart. I worry because I love you and I always will. I'm just doing what I can to keep you safe. Love doesn't keep anyone safe, Nem exclaims, raising her voice enough that some of the soldiers turn their heads to watch. Her thunderous expression convinces most of them to get back to their business. Nem clenches her fist. Love didn't keep calm safe, did it? She says, her voice breaking. There's no amount of love or worry on this whole stupid planet that can do that, so you should just stop, okay? Stop or do something useful. I'm never gonna be like you. I'm gonna fight. Probably got her killed making her join the army. I don't think that was ever going to change anything. It just would have made me less friends with her. You okay, babe? Putting his hand on an enemy's shoulder. She covers it with her own and angles her body toward him. Yeah, everything's just galactic. My mom was just about to tell me again how much she wishes I would give up being a soldier so I can pop out babies and be safe, Nem mutters. Antecedent sputters, trying to explain herself. A face beats her to it. Enemy is an exemplary soldier, Chief Steward. I know it's hard for a mother to accept, but we're all much safer for her service to the colony. And remember, Nemi, that we exist to protect people like your mother, to preserve the bond between parents and their children. Base gives Antecedent a stiff smile. The stars align one day, we won't lose any more sons. Oh, you're one of the good ones, aren't you? Oh, don't fall for this chin master. Just walking in the footsteps of the good men and women who served before me, ma'am. We couldn't do it without keeping the hurt lit for us. Speaking of, I'll take lunch if you have any left. Antecedent laughs and hands him Tiffin on her basket and then goes up to her toes, give him a quick hug. Over her shoulder, Base shoots a cheeky wink at Nem and rolls her eyes and snorts. Yeah, I don't think this would have changed anything, to be honest. The formative event that would have changed that, I would assume, is saving Combe from dying to the Faceless halfway through the game. Which may or may not be possible at all. IMO. This is there. Hey Josh, how you doing? The beard, it's majestic. It's overgrown is what it is. But I'm just... It's still cold, so I don't want to shape it. It's a protest against the weather at this point. How you been? All events have respawned. All events have respawned. Is this the only place we can find Sim? Is the question. Thanks so much for the subscription. 16 months. Jeez Louise. Or can we get either or? I mean, we might as well just go to the ridge, right? Maybe the valley? I don't know. That's perception and biology? I mean, they're all going to give me perception. That's kind of the thing. That'll give me perception and engineering. That'll probably finish it off. Reading Pirate's comments makes me wonder what I just walked into. Just, you know, angry parental slash son-daughter relationships because they're all 17 and really hormonal. Let's set off in your gliders when this shops you. Actually, I want to show you a place I found when I was scouting. It's not on any map yet. It's special. I want to show you because I think you're the only person in the colony who will understand what it means. You and Dis set off hoping for a few hours before the trackers in your holopomps ping Utopia. They're not where you should be. After a short trek off map, Dis takes you around a door set in the side of a cliff. The door is glossy black and made of something that's part bone and part stone, like the rest of the convergent domain architecture you've seen. Unlike the ruins, this place looks, well, not new, but definitely well maintained. Dis touches his fingers to the center of the door, and it dilates like an iris. Previously unseen seams folding in on themselves with a noise like rocks grinding together. Inside is a lumpy, smooth tunnel that reminds you unpleasantly of intestines. Looks like you could barely fit in there on hands and knees. An unexpectedly cool wind ruffles your hair. Well, if it's not a warm air, it can't be intestines. Let's dive on in there. Both crawl and inch your way through the tunnel to where the cave opens up. Sand in the cave looks part organic, part intentional. Curious mixture of almost organic-looking stone growths, crystals, and glowing mushrooms in a riot of iridescent oil-slick colors, some of which look like they could be controls for an ancient bioweapon. Your view deeper into the cave is obscured by layer cake stalagmite pillars. Everything is dark but the eerie glow. I'm using your hollow pump's flashlight. But it's air-conditioned. Cool fresh air is blowing from vents in the floor. Let's see. Glowy thing on the ground. Let's look at the writing on the wall. It's a huge faceted crystal plate embedded in the wall, engraved with deep glyphs. Convergent domain writing, you guess. It's some kind of map? There are lines between the symbols. You trace your hand over it, but can't make any sense of it. What's that council-looking thing? Probably similar to the Shimmer. If it's a screen, it's all dark, like when congruence isn't active. It has a decidedly alien tech feel. Feel around, touching things around. Don't do that. But nothing happens. And the glowy thing on the ground. Still don't know what that is. What if I did this? This makes a shock noise that the reality of the cave melts away and you find yourself back in the depot. Not back, not entirely. You can still feel the cool, moist breath of the cave on your cheeks and can still smell the funk of the mushrooms, but everything else is exactly as you'd expect, as real as if you could reach out and touch it. You feel embodied, like you can feel the pressure of your feet, 4 feet, on the ground. Utopia walks through Dis, rematerializing on the other side to talk to one of the other surveyors. Dis passes his hand through her image with amazement. Are they spying on us? He breathes. The image of Utopia doesn't seem to hear him. You take your hands off the controls and the cave returns. What the hell was that? It's like we were really there, like we were seeing out of the eyes of some animal. Like we were the animal. The gardener's spying on us? Sim says they have eyes everywhere. I didn't know he meant literally. We can't let Utopia know about this. We have to keep Sim's secrets. You agreed to keep this monitoring station a secret. This could be a terrible idea, but it's okay. You report to the expedition's tent to find not just Utopia, but Rhett and Vase as well. I just can't spare any more of my people, Utopia's explaining to them. You've already pulled almost all my foragers, and we're already running skint crews on the ridges as is. There's one person you can spare. Rhett replies, turning to face you. Hello, Slotisai. I'd like to transfer onto one of my hunting parties. Utopia tells me you're one of her best explorers. We could use someone like you. Need someone to keep up with this one. Why do we need to kill him? Because they're killing us, Slotisai. Keep up. He clenches his fist. It's the classic struggle of humanity and nature. Nature's not all flowers and rainbows on Earth. Everything and everyone was trying to kill each other for food, for survival, even just for fun. Can't wait to bag a real trophy, Zeno, he chuckles. First 10-point buck on Vertumna. It sounds awful. You won't be killing them for fun. I'm killing them to defend a colony. No, I won't. So, nah, I'm good. Just trying to kill you. You Strato kids were soft. Didn't know you were suicidal, too. I mean, I think I've killed, like, one thing on this planet. And it was directly threatening my mom. And that's about it. And everyone's cut out for life or death situations, Rhett says and turns to you. You'll know, Slotisai, it's not all killing. Sometimes it's about tracking and identify dangerous creatures before they reach our walls. I do that already. You wouldn't necessarily have to kill them, but you don't have to decide just yet. Talk to Utopia later if you change your mind. I won't. Every so often, yeah, Alright, we'll climb up on its back, get some animals. This time, let's wait and see where this giant dragon goes. Oh, no, it stressed me out. Okay. We're skipping some of... The events are the same, so we skip some of them, because, you know, they're the same. Flies, laying eggs, rod flies, blah blah blah. Swat the eye fly. Though I thought about keeping it fairly long. We'll see. As soon as it actually gets hot, like summertime, it's just brutal. I don't want to do that anymore. Am I stress over 50? Oh, heck yeah, it is. Is it? Yeah, it totally is. But it only counts for 4. Okay, fine, whatever. 4, 5, 6. That's fine. 4, 5, 6, but that's just going to turn to 5, but whatever, that's fine. Something like this and that and like that and that. I don't know, something. Yeah, pretty good. It suits you, can't remove it. It's part of your multi-million-dollar streaming image. I wish. Okay, swat the eye fly. Squashed it. Okay, I guess I did kill that animal, but in my defense, it was annoying. We avoid blocking events. You can slip past all path blocking explore events. Wow. That makes it a lot easier to explore once a month and not stress ourselves. That's really good, actually. I can just zoop on by until anything actually interesting piques my interest. Excellent. That is a really good perk. Way better than it has any. God, there's suddenly all of these weird ones. Looking for Sim. Found him. Once you see Sim before he sees you, he's crouched just off the path, staring at a flower, his face blank. He doesn't react. Oh, the cat has stopped sunning itself on the roof of my car and is heading off. It's like a little, it's like a calico cat. It's kind of cute. We've seen him before. He just comes up to you and, like, plops down, belly rubs and all. Seen him just on a tree, like, a mile away on our walk, just lounging. Don't know. No idea. It's cool, though. Prepping my kidnapping? No. No, that cat seems pretty darn happy. And healthy. I've seen my fair share of both feral and domestic cats with the barn cats and everything, so I think we're fine. Eventually, you clear your throat. Sim carefully stands up and turns to face you. For a moment, you're not sure if he recognizes you. Then he tosses his head and a grin leaps to his face. Lonisai, caught me checking in with the boss. Your boss is that flower? Ah, no, of course not. That flower's my great aunt. Look at the flower. It's part of a dense vine that fills much of the end of this valley. Not sure whether he's joking this time. Boss, as I told you, they aren't fond of change. They're also very much like your boss. They're also very much like your boss. What's she named? Utopia? Name word is fitting, isn't it? Appreciate she wishes to remind... She always reminds you not to get yourself killed. I wish you'd listen to her. You know, she gave me a job to do. And I have my job, which is to protect this place. Protecting you seems to be my hobby. He laughs. If the boss finds out I'm talking to you, I'll be in trouble, so... Shh. Murmurs, puts his finger to lips. Why keep talking to me? Because you're the boy of my dreams. Literally. I can't seem to stay away from you, he replies. And because humans are different, he continues. I'm so bored of everyone else on this planet. They're their gardeners, my boss. They have everything on Vertumna just the way they like it. They don't want the teeniest thing to change. It's boring. See that tree? Sim points to a tree with many long limbs dripping from it, embedded in the ground. That tree was a small creature for part of its life cycle. Call it the Vriki. Once it plants its roots, that's where it stays for the rest of its life. Oh, interesting. Gardeners spend time with trees too. There's sometimes hundreds of years. If you do that enough, you start to think like a tree, set in your ways. He spreads his hands, an earnest expression on his face. When I watch you, when I talk to you and learn about your species, I feel inspired. I feel young again. You can shapeshift? Don't you think my looking human is a bit of coincidence? He replies, motions his body with a sensual flick of his wrist. It's a rather handsome body, though, don't you think? I think I did quite well. I'll say. I'm sorry, he says, but I must away. And then he's gone. Maybe he's just avoiding questions. That's great, but I have stuff for you? Yeah, here you go. I knew it. I dreamed about it last night in my vat. And you're what now? Ah, never mind. Let me have the data drive. Yes, but answer a question first. Okay, I'll answer the question. Exactly one. The Thumping Ruins is what I think is driving those animals batty, so I want to know about this. The whole planet's sentient? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like one big biomass. As your surveyors expect, they are made by those you call the conversion domain. They built cities and created the gardeners, then ruined everything and left about 20,000 years ago, give or take. But what do? They help us serve our purpose, and that's already one question. Too many, Sim answers shortly. He makes reaching motions towards the data drive. Yet over the data drive, and Sim takes it reverently. Staring as though he could see what's inside. Marvelous, like a genetic payload, except with digital data instead of organic. What will I learn from this trove, I wondered. You're still puzzling over the implications of the phrase genetic payload as he continues. walls. The other gardeners are so tedious and obsessed with their work. They're more concerned with maintaining equilibrium than experiencing new things. They don't understand that novelty is what makes life interesting. Like a 40th... It is like a Warhammer 40k nightmare. Thank you, Slotisai. I will treasure this. Alright, cool. That's great. That's pretty much all I need here. Oh, I look so angry in that picture, though. I do need a lot more pieces of wood for some construction. Don't think I'm going to find any here, though. Back to the boss room of sorts. Check out the thumpers. 4 thumpers are in a careful alignment, forming a square with a wide pass between them and the pyramid in the center. None are active. Let's investigate the other buildings. Smaller, more deteriorated pyramid buildings dot around the valley, purposes unknown. There are also dozens of little obelisks, like a couple meters wide, with a circular design on one side. Approach a random one of these on the edge of the valley, like the door in Dis's motoring station. You know what to do. You get up right close, touch it. Now your door slides open. Now you're looking through a large round door into a small, featureless room. Quite small, quite featureless, totally dark. Very creepy. Let's bravely walk inside. Cool. 5, 4, 3. Oh, that's gonna mess up. That's gonna mess up everything. That's gonna be 3, 4, 5, 5. Sure. I mean, like 1. Would this be enough? Like, just a straight here? No, it would not. In that case, let's redraw my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go. Max we could have gotten. You walk in, Dis close behind, suddenly an arch closes, the floor lurches, and you're moving down. An elevator. The elevator squeals and grinds away like it hasn't been used in literally thousands of years. It doesn't go far, then grinds to a halt, and Iris opens to reveal a large room with obsidian walls. Like all convergent domain spaces, it's more cave than room with stalactites. There's no G in stalactites? Stalactites. Everywhere, and giant lumpy mounds of fungus. You wonder if the obsidian stuff they build with melts over time, running and dripping in extreme slow motion. There are councils all over the walls, like this is some kind of control room, just like the monitoring station just found. Alright, well, let's touch stuff at random. I have ceased to be myself. I'm an audio, visual, and weirdly tactile representation of something vast. A feeling of being in a large and complex space. No, like you are the space, a digital space, like a computer system. As if you were sucked inside a 3D representation of the HoloNet, you could see files and processes and whole worlds of data, but in alien formats that speak to you more sensation than logic. You let go. You grab them again, and understanding fills your head. It feels not that different from your bouts of deja vu remembering, like if memories being inserted into your mind, and suddenly you just know how to use this interface. Just think where you want to go or what you want to know, and away you go. The word array comes to mind. A network of computers hosting millions of data nodes, information on every part of the planet from weather to soil conditions to individual creatures. Not just computers, but entities that feel intelligent, and also digital artificial consciousness, like your AI congruence, processing all that data and triggering subroutines to make minute changes on the planet's surface. Then a booming voice enters your brain and obliterates all else, speaking more in abstract thought than words, but loud. What are you doing in a wormhole observatory array council 5, you nosy little creature? Then an explosion in your head, and you've thrown backwards and out of the array. There must have also been an explosion in your hands, which are now singed. The council is blown out and dead. You're shaken. Something didn't like you poking around in there. Whatever the array is, whatever lives in it, has been watching you, probably ever since you landed. You're feeling Sim has something to do with this. He's either in league with the array or he's part of it, but knowing Sim, he won't tell you anything until he's ready to. Tell Dis about the array and the voice saying, Wormhole Observatory. Looks around impressed. Convergent Domain sure was up to some shit. Now you know about the array and how to access it. That could come in very useful if it turns out to be a danger to your colony. Decide to call it a day. Your arms feel all tingly. Well, I still... No! I had a little more time. No. That's okay. We hit another perk for engineering. Browsing colony bulletin board on your hollow palm over breakfast when you notice a new post from Nomi. It's a short story. Xenos to the rescue. Hoo boy. You open the story and read through it. Actually, you think you and Nomi did okay. Sure, the premise of talking manticores is a little shaky, and Nomi doesn't really spend enough time establishing characters' motivations, but it's still an entertaining read. Scroll through the comments. They're mostly supportive, a little lukewarm, except for one. Lamau, this sucks. Xenos suck, my sweaty ball sack. Sorry. Ball sack. Oh, what a guy. New perk. Right, engineering. Extra gear slot. Hey, you love to see it. That means I can... nope, not that. Gear. My other pet. Now I have 2 pets. Life is good. Alright, I'm stressed out. That's fine. Notice board, anything new? Sufficient. Orange. Secret. Instance. Geranium. Antecedent. Utopia. Okay. Oh, don't I know that I need some time off? Don't I know it, friend? I still have more to explore of that city, but I don't feel like walking all the way back there that year, so I'm probably not going to do it. I'm probably going to do something else. Kind of just want to keep relaxing in the park, because it could up... I don't know if 2 is the max upgrade, or is 3 the max upgrade. I don't know, but we're bonding again. Garden is a peaceful place where you don't have to think about how the colony is always simmering about being at war with the creatures of Autumna. You can just sit and empty your mind, smelling the sweet perfume of flowers and listening to the wind rustle the green grass. It's one place to find peace even when it feels like everyone else is losing their minds. I don't need that anymore. We're more onto the straights than we are into flushes. Early pollen. Bump into Tangent after a routine checkup in medbay. Slanosai, could you wait a moment? Almost done. Let's walk out together. Dr. Instance gives you a curious look as Tange hurries to catch up to you, but goes back to her work. You wonder if Tange needs something from you or just wants to hang out. Lately, it seems she has less time for her friends, preferring to work late in the lab. But she was doing that from age 10, dog. Nice weather we're having, Tange says as you walk outside. You look around, it seems pretty normal for the season. So different here than it was in space, she says. Growing up in a spaceship was so clean and tidy. Hear him constantly sweeping pollen or dust or spores or what have you off everything. There's a mushroom growing in the corner of the bathroom the other day. I mean, I kinda like it, honestly. Yuck. You can have it. Walk for a few more minutes. Tange clearly has something on her mind, so you let her sit with it until she finally steels herself. I'm, not very good at this sort of thing, she says slowly. You know, I've been working on a big project with the chief engineer. Yeah. Well, it's been going really well. I think we're finally over the last hurdle now. Lum says it's going to change everything here in the colony for the better. Tan seems more at ease than you've seen her in years. Truly, I couldn't have done it without you, Tan says, a slight smile warming her usually expressionless face. I know I can be a hard person to be around, but I appreciate everything you've done for me, and ultimately for the colony and all of humanity. Time to make my move! Oh, this is going to be a bad idea. Oh no, it actually worked out. You intend to find yourself alone on the path engineering the quarters when you edge closer to Tangent as you talk. She doesn't seem to notice and moves away, maintaining the distance between you. This is like the only one that actually makes sense for her, because it's logical. Let's make it official. You propose a formal, amorous partnership between you, the way one might propose a scientific thesis. It would have mutually beneficial advantages, you tell her, and I don't know what to say, she says slowly. She gives you a considering look. You're not the first person to suggest partnership, but I must admit you're the first who piques my interest in return. You know what? Yes, she decides. You're entirely right. I like you like me. There's nothing stopping us from pursuing a relationship. How should we begin? Oh, Celeste, you like me. Surely you expect nothing less than a completely rational response that takes into account both our feelings and our situation? Yes, I expect nothing less. Will you kiss me now, or shall I kiss you? Tam slips her hands into yours and steps close. You lean in, press your mouths together. Almost acceptable. Nice. Tane is a better kisser than you expected. Confident, unashamed, and methodical. You kiss until she tires of it, pulling away and touching her lips with a slight smile. I'm looking forward to continuing this train of thought, she says. Wow. That was the nerdiest thing I've ever heard. What does Smitten do? Oh, nice. I'm going to share it with everyone. I feel like Nomi would like that. Nomi does like strange devices. Almost acceptable would be the best compliment I could hope for. Same here. That's why I gave it a big thumbs up. I like the strange devices. What are you working on? What did we get? Oh, we got biology 80 or higher. We are really absolutely killing it on these things. Cal's looking a little sickly. Well, I found this really pretty flower growing in the garden. It's a radioactive plant. Okay, Cal has radiation poisoning. It's radioactive. Good thing you knew that. What do we do? You're not sure, but if you study it in the geoponics lab, you might be able to figure out how to neutralize the radiation. It's like, wow, that wasn't the worst. Thank you. Alright. However, we will continue to give hugs. Hugs are free, and hugs are great. Alright, we need more mushwood logs because... I want to see what Rex builds, mostly. What's some light gamma rays between friends? Exactly. This is great. I can just collect things now. Live life. Just zoom around. Not stress myself out. Good stuff. On an unrelated note, it's probably going to be a week or two before we finish off Ace Attorney, but we're staring in the face of our next weekend game. And is this something we've done every time? I like it because it's beautiful. Can I give the alien the strange device? That's a good point. We should probably do that. Sure. Anyways, but the voting so far has taken a turn for the worse because you guys keep on giving me my worst possible fear, which is actually making a decision. It's awful. Pat, thanks so much for the subscription. 43 months. By August, September, will be 4 years of subs. Oh my god. Hope you're putting that streamer money to good use. Yes, I am, by buying things for the stream, mostly, with it. And by things, I mean Taco Bell. It's my Taco Bell fund. Maybe one day it'll be our full-time fund, but for now, I appreciate it, and I hope you've enjoyed everything about it. Yeah, how was the Diablo 4 beta? It's for my crippling video game addiction. That's also true, but we don't talk about that. So we just explain it away with Taco Bell. Oh, I de-stressed myself so much there. I brought you something. It's a strange device. I think you better hold on to this. You may need it later. Do you say that for everything? Out of curiosity? Oh, I won't know. Uh-oh. Been giving those away like candy. Uh-oh. It's fine. We're almost maxed on bravery. Animals is pretty good. Toughness, we're getting there. Biology, reasoning. Doing well. World of Warcraft quest system and overworld Diablo story, and then more of a Diablo 2 PoE skill system and weapon upgrades. I like that third part the most. Nem, are you going to be a terrible person to your mother again? I'm supposed to meet Ma'am for lunch, but she didn't show up. You head to the garrison, see if you can find her. You swap Nem's shock of red hair over by the close-range fighting ring. As you approach, she finishes a flurry of blows with a roundhouse kick that almost knocks the training dummy's head clear off. Kia! Nem roars, echoing off the vaulted ceiling of the garrison. Nem steps back from the ring and pulls up the bottom of her shirt to wipe her face, flashing you a glimpse of her muscular stomach and the blue-green skin that dances over her ribcage and down her hips. Her skin shines with sweat under the harsh lights. You catch her eye and she shoots through your smile as quick and bright as the sun glinting off a metal roof before it disappears behind her usual bleak expression. She jogs over to you. What are you doing here, Solanasai? Oh, shit. You're supposed to eat lunch together today? Sorry, I've turned down my flirting. I lost all interest when she started sucking vase face. Face face. Vase face. Vase face. Yeah, that's no excuse. I should have been more aware. Oh my lord. She grabs her water bottle, drinks from it, and pours the rest over her head and flicks the water through her shaved side. Still get some chow if you want. Just give me a sec. Pulls an oversized sports ball sweater over her worker clothes, thumbs popping through the holes, worn cuffs, lettering on the back, reads kombucha. So you exit the garrison, you're stopped by a few of the other soldiers, all seem to want to give Yam a high five or tell her about their days. Even though she's clearly exhausted, she musters up a few heartening words for each of them. They all know I'm dating Vase, she says apologetically. It's all weird. All of a sudden I'm like a hero to them too, and haven't even done anything yet. Train every day though, probably like 6 to 8 hours. Did you have a favorite class, or was there... What classes were there for the Diablo beta? I'm a necromancer person, personally. Feels good to work hard, like it just wipes out the bad thoughts. Anything's bothering me, just goes away. Makes an exploding motion with one hand. Poof. Can't afford to lose my focus, Nem says solemnly. Can't let myself be distracted. If I do that, someone dies because of it? Null it, man. The thought of it keeps me up at night. Sometimes I just get up and run around the colony until I'm too tired to stand. No one else is going to die on my watch. You understand, right? You work harder than anyone. How do you do it? What are you fighting for, Solanasai? Quite honestly, I'm just trying to get through it. I know how that feels. She claps you on the soldier. My words are getting worse earlier on. It's like watching just a 5-year-old trying to read like Moby Dick. I know what it's like to not want to think about the future, about why we're here. Joining the Defense Force gave me a purpose. I get up every morning and think, today I'm going to be better than yesterday. I'm ready. Her mouth twitches into a smile before it fades again. I know it's hard, but as long as I'm alive, you got me. I'm here for you. That's great. We didn't actually become any better friends there, which is sad. Anyways, here's a Xeno egg. I know you like them. I've remembered this. Hello, Tange. Immediately, I want to break up with you. Strong black coffee from the bitter. It's bracing at first, Tange conceives. Now I've endured it long enough that it has begun to feel pleasant, almost calming. As I require a little sleep, I naturally become dependent on it. Addiction runs in my family, you know. This, though, it's an indulgence I can allow myself. I don't think there's anything here that you like. So we're good. Rogue Warrior and Wizard in the closed beta. Druid and Necro for the open this weekend. Nice. Ooh. Cal's doing sciencey things. Good for you. Do you like flowers? Of course you like flowers. Everybody likes flowers. Nomi Nomi likes crystals. Oh, no. Groceroni. Rex. More wood for the bar. I don't know how many pieces you'll need, but probably way more than I've got. Thinking xenobiology, xenobotany, one of those things are things that are things. Yeah. And studying the sponge cake you found in the Valley of Vertigo. Oh yeah, in that oddly squishy trampoline-y ground. As you suspected, it's a type of fungus. The analysis bench tells you it contains edible starches. Once dried and processed, it will make a wonderful flour. Challenge now is to cultivate it. It multiplies quickly, and you've seen how it stops anything else from growing near it. We'll plant it in a backfield. Quarantined on the other side by geoponics domes for the rest of the crops. By the end of the month, you can tell it's taken root and will start to produce viable food soon. Hopefully, you squeeze a harvest out of what you planted before dust comes. Many of the earth crops grow through dust and need to be harvested before wet. This means colony has more food available year-round. It's going to be an incredible boon. Bring your mushwood samples in the lab. I'm going to study these and revolutionize the use of mushwood lumber. Maybe. Wait, did Rex need mushwood to build his bar? Do you want to study these samples or donate them to Rex? Study this mushwood. You examine the mushwood under a microscope and take notes of its cellular structure. Part of the reason it needs to be harvested and wet is because the cells get so saturated that they lose in structural integrity and turn to, well, mush during glow. Studying the exact process by which cells take in water and lead to a breakthrough. It might be possible to hack the process and stop the mushwood trees from taking on too much water during wet. If they don't take on as much water, they won't take as long to dry. Oh, it gave us some defense. That's probably good. You should be able to develop a spray that loggers can apply to the fruiting body of the mushwood, the part that sticks around the ground, to close its pores. Reducing negative pressure in the body should stop it from pulling so much water in the mycelial network underground. Neat. We learned a lot there on accident. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Yeah. Well, that sounds neat. I don't want to try the necromancer because I really like summoner classes. Basically, whatever does the most work for me, I'm all for it. The less I have to worry about, the better I can do. And then anything else is just peachy keen. Animals, toughness, We could go exploring in a couple other places as well to try and see if there's any new quests that open up. I wouldn't mind that. We did that. Let's go back to the valley, maybe? Try that. That'll get biology up to 100 as well. That'll max our perk out. And we'll see if there's anything new here. If there isn't, that's also fine, and it won't bother me too much. Now that we have the perk that just skips things, it's just so nice. There's Utopia. Like the rest of the planet, the valley is home to some strange plant and animal life. You find Utopia puzzling over a jelly arch, a huge gelatinous arch held together by solid veins. Ooh, large enough for a person to walk underneath. They don't look like animals, but been around long enough to realize things aren't always what they seem. Upon closer inspection, the arches seem to pulse and breathe, even though they have no visible organs, and they're always kind of warm. It's unsettling. I know this one ain't right, Utopia mutters to herself as you approach. As long as I've ever seen a jelly arch look so deflated. Take a look. It's true, this arch just doesn't seem as structurally sound as the others. Beginning to think they're all connected, like runners underground, poking up every so often in waves like this. If one's looking rough, what's going to happen to the rest? She sticks her head in the goop. The arch seems to cringe away as she roots around its innards. It's got some kind of crystal structure in here, suspended in it. Wonder if it's got its nose knocked out of joint, whatever it's got instead of a nose. The jelly arch makes a sloshing, groaning noise, its surface rippling with pain. Can you even feel pain, or is it just a reaction being churned up inside? Have a crystal? Oh, can't hurt. shoves Crystal in the gelatinous match of the arch. The arch stiffens, and Utopia shouts in alarm. Dang, things got my arm, she exclaims. Gets her foot on the jelly arch, no longer as permeable, hauls her arm out of it. Whew, that'll teach me just to go in my hand places. Jelly arch looks more healthy now, standing up proud and wiggly again. Great thing, thanks, Solanasai. Who would have thought? Not me. I just thought it'd be funny. New perk on biology. I can enhance my DNA and engineering. I can give myself an extra enhancement. That's super cool. You're enjoying a relatively uneventful second sun of taking readings for one Utopia's geological surveys when your world shifts on an unnatural axis as Sim comes crashing seemingly out of thin air, grappling with a skyfish almost as big as he is. Look out! He calls to you. It's far too late for that. Ground rushes up to meet you, and it's all you can do to close your eyes and protect your head. To make matters worse, in the ensuing tussle, they completely crush the delicate scanning equipment you just finished setting up. Utopia's going to be so upset. Oh no. You survey the wreckage helplessly while Sim holds the skyfish at bay. The skyfish flops around pitifully, then springs back in the sky and flies away, trilling in distress. Didn't even look dangerous, really. Slaughtersigh, Sim croaks. Turn your attention to him. Blood is pouring from a wound on his chest where one of the skyfish's spines must have pierced his otherwise perfect skin. It's the kind of thing that will definitely leave a scar or worse. Holding the wound closed, Sim smiles sheepishly. Guess my future sight isn't always 20/20. Holy shit, are you gonna be okay? He waves dismissively. 'Tis but a flesh wound, he says. They say that right? It's from one of your Earth movies. I quite liked it. He and I are similarly difficult to kill completely. He coughs. I think it's just coincidence I'm always here at exactly the right time to save you. At night when I'm asleep, I sometimes see visions of things that are going to happen, or at least could happen. My dreams aren't always true, Sim says, wincing as he applies pressure to the wound. The paths branch to converge. Time is more of a web than a line, I think. But always in the center, there's you. Hey, I can see the future too. You can? Well, you must not be very good at it either. Sim laughs. You try to explain. You tell him it's kind of like remembering, but in your dreams. It's happened ever since you were a little kid. Like, you're remembering things that haven't happened yet. You bet some of them are pretty rough, like visions of people dying. Yeah, some gardeners have this ability. It takes hundreds, even thousands of years to develop. Seems you were born with it. I can't tell you how this future sight works, to be honest. I don't even know. But if you're curious, he's clearly grappling with something and not just the sluggishly bleeding wound on his chest. You might look for answers under the light of the wormhole in glow, he confesses. Press him for more, but he begs you to simply leave him to handle his injury in peace. Well, interesting. Yeah. So, I'm not sure exactly, but the schedule right now is like... This week, it's Exocolonist plus Resident Evil 4 on Friday, the remake. And then we'll continue doing Resident Evil 4 until we're finished with it. I have not played the original Resident Evil 4 outside of the first village part that my friend showed me a long-ass time ago. I bought the game a bit ago, and then I decided, hey... probably don't play that because you are already just gonna just keep it fresh. So it'll be a pretty fresh perspective on it. Trick it. Can't be too difficult, right? 7, 6, 4, 4, something. I don't know. That's fine. We're almost done with Ace Attorney. Tricked it. And we got the queen. We milked the squeeger. Go home. Once we're done with that, we'll close the poll. Last time I checked, it's all tied at 4 because you guys are, as I've stated before, trying to make me make a decision, which, as I've stated before, is my worst nightmare. Just any simple decision, it's awful. Where should we go to eat? I don't know. I'm gonna have a panic attack and break down instead. Should I get out of bed and go to the bathroom? No, let's see if I poop myself when I sleep. It's a struggle. I am very surprised Chelsea has not slaughtered me over one of my lack of decision makings. Sometimes it's just easier if everyone pretends they don't notice me. That's weird and also very sad. Making decisions based on the mistakes of humans we purposefully left behind on Earth is foolishness, she says between bites of her protein bar. We may as well ask the scars for guidance like astrologers. Do you have any time to spare? I suppose if you provide me with sufficient motivation. I have de-stressed and copulated. Keyblade is winning. Fix that. Oh, great. No, that's good. Thanks. Can't have that. Good gravy. Y'all are ridiculous. Alright, we're thinking about applying for the kitchen just because I kind of wanted to see... Just kidding. We are not organized, and we will not be anytime soon. How dare I get my hopes up for actually being able to play a game. Manipulating it to be as close as possible. I've told you, if it ends in a 4-way tie, I'm gonna short circuit and just replay Fire Emblem Engage on Maddening till the end of time. Just no more games ever. The year will be 2050, and I'm just still playing it. Anything new on here? Oh, we're back to good on supplies. That's neat. Let's go for reasoning. So, like, let's tutor some kiddos, shall we? Oh wait, I can tinker with my DNA. What do I get? I get eagle eyes, extra fingers. That's weird. I will just give myself super strength. You don't know what time traveler is? That's fair, because there's time travel in a lot of games. Specifically, that is going to be, if it wins, Live Alive. The predecessor to Chrono Trigger that never got released in the West and then got re-released recently. You can see a lot of the DNA of Chrono Trigger in it. It's a cool pixel RPG I've had for a bit. Alright. Tinkered with my own DNA. That's fun. And not at all risky. All good. You're in engineering very late today. You're starting to nod off. Yeah, I think like each time period has a slightly different mechanic in terms of like the combat. Obviously each story is like a little vignette. Similar to... I mean, there's a couple games of that era that use that. Dragon Quest IV, Chapters of the Chosen, does that, where it splits each part of the story into a single character, and then they all come together in the finale. Octopath is a much more recent example of that, Octopath and Octopath 2. And it's becoming more, oh no, recognized again. If that makes sense. Tangent instants leave their lab without locking their door. Headed back towards living quarters. Usually they're so cautious, but it's late. They must have been very tired to have forgotten. Working on something in secret. Do you want to find out what? Yeah! Checking in to make sure the coast is clear, you slip into their office. It's just off the med bay, and every flat surface is dedicated to experiments. The whiteboard is covered in dense scribbles and diagrams. The garbage bin is filled with wrappers of discarded soy meal replacements. It smells like stale coffee and sleep deprivation in here. Their holoscreen terminal is still active. It seems strange that they left it on. You get the feeling that they weren't done for the night. You'll have to be quick. Check out the experiments. It isn't obvious at a glance what's being done, but they don't look happy. Cages are locked, might be able to free them. I'm going to just study them, because that's my GF. You researched the Shimmer fungus together. They decided to bioengineer a more powerful virus, but it only affects Vertumnan creatures. Oh. It would kill everything on the planet, leaving it empty and ready for human colonization. But why would they do this? Dig a little deeper and find not Instance's research logs, but her personal logs written on real paper with a cover page that reads, "In my defense upon my death." You read through the papers in which Instance details being approached by Lum shortly after the Helio landed and he took control of the council. Helio had been sent to retrieve congruence and bring her to justice. Bring to justice the people who stole her. Instance primarily, but also Hal and your mother. When they realized they could never return to Earth, Lum became interested in Instance's research instead, particularly research into Vertumnan ecology. Under threat of execution, Instance was essentially forced to pivot her research into finding a way to cleanse the planet for human colonization. She writes she tried to shield the other scientists from her work. She couldn't keep the secret from her apprentice Tangent. She speaks highly of Tangent, almost as a mother would talk to her own child. She grieves she couldn't protect her too. Scan copies of the missives. At least you have evidence now. Oh my god. So 1 controller, 3 games. Yeah, that makes sense. Kingdom Hearts, Metroid Prime, and a turn-based RPG. Yeah, that'll be great. The best thing is you could watch any screen and you'll be like, this is a normal Twice Marked stream. Oh, Prime's losing the most. Oh, okay, so it'd be 2 turn-based RPGs and Kingdom Hearts. You could barely tell the difference. I'd be focused completely on one. You'd be like, oh, yeah, he's doing great. For him. Look at that. 9. Also 9. That's... but oh, don't ask. This is fine, and the best. Sometimes you just can't get it straight. Reasoning is almost completed. Nice. This year's Vertumnali is ushered in with a big military band, horns and drums, supplemented by recordings of parade music from Earth. Lum strides out of command on a grand red carpet and ascends the stage to raucous applause. "Thank you, everyone," he calls out over the din. "Look at you. Look at this colony. Finally truly united. All it took was a common enemy," he declares. "I look at you beautiful people, you strong people, you good human people, and I see a fire in your eyes. I see courage in your hearts. I see a colony that's ready to win. I see a colony that's here to stay. Vertumna, do you hear me? Do you hear me, Vertumna? We humans aren't going to hide anymore." Hi, Chelsea. How you doing? The original fugitive colonists got it wrong. In Roman mythology, Vertumnus was the god of cultivation, not of rampant chaotic growth. You need to clear the field before you can plow it. Vertumna won't be safe for human life till all the aliens are eradicated. Rhett crosses his arms and nods his agreement. Maybe there's more to this plan than Lum is letting on. Lum descends from the stage and does a receiving line of handshakes and fist bumps. Fish bumps? In the vacuum left by his presence, Seek takes podium, clears their throat. "Want to announce that this will be the last year the festival contest will be held." What? "This war will use our colony resources at tremendous rate, including the most valuable time." Lum takes the stage again. "I do have some good news." Starts to soothe the crowd. "Starting today, the colony is going to be granting requests from people who want to have children." "Yes, that's right. It's time to start the next generation of Vertumnans and secure a future for our children." Yeah, okay. Anyway, about this war on nature. It's stupid, Cal says immediately. "I know survival is important. We don't have to kill things to survive here." Of course you'd think that. Duh. Personally, I think Lum is a total nullhead. He's not that much older than me. What is he, like 24? Everyone listens to him? They should listen to me instead. Thanks, Mars. "Called over to participate in the games, last ones, maybe forever. If this war on nature ever ends, you'll probably be an adult. As your friends all separate to their usual games, you realize this might be the last time you get to just be kids. What do I choose? Trivia. Trivia. Tangent's out for blood this year. She snaps at anyone who tries to talk to her before the trivia begins and complains she's been cramming so hard on pop culture she feels her brain's about to explode. Meanwhile, nobody just bobs along to the music and they're here speaking while they wait, totally unbothered. 90. Alright. That is fine, actually, because we can do that, and then that, and then that. Triple nines, triple straight. That's good. Triple flush. +5 during that challenge is 11. Oh my lord. And then we can, like, do this. It's not really a thing, but it's also more than enough. 5, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4. Yeah. Wasn't even close to what we could get. That's fine. We're at 99 reasoning. That's brutal. Tange cramming clearly paid off for her. She's strong competition until the category about old earth slang, where you clearly pull ahead. You snatch victory from her clutches, and she grudgingly accepts your superiority in all things trivia. After the festivities, everyone is supposed to take a few days vacation. You and your friends relax, but adults move around like the colony like ants in the hive, fortifying the walls, preparing for the human offensive against the planet. This sounds awful. I would like to talk about how you're engineering a plague. Tan seems especially troubled today, so you invite her on a long walk around the inner wall. That's Tange's thing. Thinking walks. She's touched that you know her that well. She talks in fitful bursts and lapses into long silences. Finally, she stops and puts her hand on the wall. She's bracing herself. Sonisai, something's been bothering me, she says, clenching her other hand at her side. She collects her words with great difficulty. Is it morally defensible to do something that people wouldn't approve of if you're doing it in their best interests? What if you don't have a choice? Yeah, I know about that. I don't have friendship enough? What's my friendship with you? 88 and I need not... 1 second. 1 second here. Let me load up the last... the last one here. I'm doing... We're doing a little... Oh, wait, no, I'll never be able to get to 90, will I? Because of, No, wait, I can. I can. I just need to do a month or two of stuff here. I'm gonna ignore my friend for 2 months. Nomi's in their usual spot in the lounge, surrounded by their steadily growing collection of body pillows and stuffed animals. They're curled up with their arms around a giant plushy creature and seem to be scrolling listlessly through the movies available in the Colony Media Archive. Find anything good? No, not since I finished all of Maidstogger Ares. Can't believe it ended on a cliffhanger. Didn't know that the stratosphere had left Earth before the series finished airing. Every episode is up to the 2-parter season finale. They bury their face against the plushie. I'll never know how it ends. It's just not fair. We'll never have any new shows to watch. That's rough, buddy. Yeah. I don't have any creativity for you, no. Sorry. I am literally a rock. Boom. Boom. Mushwood log. Still working on... Oh, construction project might be done. Follow the sounds of laughter and find Nomi and Rex playing catch. Or maybe the word for the game they're playing is more like fetch. Nomi throws the ball as hard as they can. Rex tears after it, climbing and leaping over anything in his way like it's not even there. Rex hands the ball back to Nomi. Nomi winds up to... They're just playing fetch. The last second, they palm the ball and hide another arm. Rex barrels off away from Nomi on the ground, eating straw, and gets pretty far away before he stops and looks around, confused. Looks around at Nomi, who waggles the ball at him and bursts out laughing. Nomi! She shouts, running back to them. Picks them up and hauls them over his shoulder. Nomi shrieks with delight. Rex spins them around. 2 Helio kids in their crisp uniforms pass by, glaring archly at Nomi and Rex. Rex sets Nomi down and then spots you over Nomi's shoulder. Hey, Solana-sai. Nomi turns around and gives you a stunningly bright smile. What's the deal with your Helio friends? They aren't our friends. All they want to do is act like mindless little soldiers and measure each other's dicks. So many more fun things to do with Nomi thumps Rex in the chest. Don't be gross, they whine. Sorry, Nomi. I just mean we don't need anyone else. Ever since we were kids, it's been me and Nomi here. They're my best friend. Love them like my sibling. Rex is my best friend, too. Aw, buddy. Rex coos, wraps his whole body around Nomi's smaller one, kisses them noisily on the cheeks, snuffling into their hair while Nomi shrieks with laughter again. We're always the odd ones out on Heliopause. People thought we were weird, you know? Probably don't see it because everyone's so awesome here, but compared to the rest of those smug, boring jerks, we really stuck out. I'd rather be different than be like them. Looks at Nomi and beams up at him. I gotta be different with my best friend, which was awesome. Hung out together and had our own little fun while everyone else trained to be proper little soldiers, right, Nomi? Facing all these cronies. It wasn't all fun and games. Rex stresses Nomi. Strokes his hand. That's in the past. We don't have time to be soldiers. We don't have to grow up to be soldiers. We're here now, and there's so many more people to be friends with, like Solonisai. Yeah, I'm a friend. Rex smiles, holds his other arm out to you. Group hug. Rex gives really good hugs. And Nomi's no slouch either. That was not related to the barn, but that's okay. Well, I hope they don't unleash the plague in the next 2 months. That'll be awkward if they do. Because I need to be friends. Life sciences, it doesn't really matter. We could do humanities. We could do engineering. You and Nomi are doing independent study after hours, and they stand up from the beanbag chair and do a little victory dance. Yes, it works. Look, Solonisai. They throw something onto your holo screen. The intro for the game QQ Bishonen Kiisetsu comes up on screen, and Congruence's full-room holo projectors decorate the walls with a blue sky and rolling green hills. I installed on the classroom mainframe. It's so much faster. There's no latency at all. The lights go out. Lights flicker back on again, but only for a few seconds at a time before going dark again. The temperature drops. The holo projectors no longer display the lush meadows, but instead a ramshackle wooden cabin with various horrible implements hanging on the wall. Hello, children. Oh no, I must have installed it into Congruence's memory. She's being affected by the game's code. Congruence's holo projector appears in the middle of the room. She's facing away from you, and she slowly turns around. Her face is smeared away and featureless. Do you want to play? Yeah. An unnatural growling noise fills the room. Nomi squeaks and hides behind you, but it doesn't matter. The noise is everywhere, surrounding you. Congruence's holo-projected form flickers and becomes a shaggy manticore with glowing eyes, and it's gone. Howl echoes off the walls. The hunt is on. You and Nomi fight your way through Congruence's holo-projected nightmare, encountering beasts the likes of which you only seen in books from Earth. They stalk you through misty forests and trap you in dank-looking cellars. They scream and moan and cry and howl. You've never been so scared from a holo game. It feels so real. I didn't make this. Their chest heaving as they look around for the next creature. This isn't even the game I installed. Is this what you wanted? No! Solonisai, what do we do? I will fix Congruence. After a few minutes of hacking, you realize something doesn't add up. There's no trace of Nomi's game here. Congruence is a massively intelligent being. There's no way she should have allowed her base programming to be manipulated like this. Lights flicker back on. You solved my puzzle, she chirps, and plays a recording of cheering and clapping. It's not simply telling you not to install the unapproved software to be boring. You'll certainly remember this lesson. Horrifying. Thanks. Frickin' zip zop bop badoop zip buddy boop bop. Yeah. Alright. On friendship with Tangent, which means it's now we're at 89. Also, my reasoning's done. Tangent, hold on for one more month, will you? Will you, girl? Thanks. I appreciate it. New perk, mental boost, +1 to mental increases. That's great. I'm gonna study life sciences now. Just completely useless. But we're gonna help in medbay. Ooh. Yeah, we can help in medbay. Oh, we unlocked nursing assistant in engineering. Cool. 9, 7, wait, 9, 6, 7, something, wait, something, fucking, that, I don't know, 56. Alright, we're at 90. Please don't Early wet. Okay, no, we can still talk. We're at 90. Life is good. Know about engineered plague. It was only a matter of time, I suppose. Sometimes it seems like you know everything that goes on in the colony. Thanks again for your help. You're really instrumental in overcoming several hurdles, whether you knew it or not. As your friend, please don't do it. As my friend? A real friend would understand why I have to do this. I have to protect Dr. Instance. I have to protect the colony, Tand replies, incredulous. She pushes herself off the wall and starts walking away from you. A few paces away, she stops in her shoulder slump. I don't want to do this, Solana sigh. She says miserably. If I don't help Instance, though, Lumma's gonna kill her. The colony needs her. I need her. I don't know what I'd do without her. I don't know. Maybe we can convince him to stop? Tan scrubs her hands against her eyes and turns to you. She looks so impossibly tired, and for a moment, as young as she really is. Lumma's forcing us to work on the virus. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get her involved in this. I'll find a way to convince him. Probably not. This is probably going to end horribly. But I can't have Tangent losing whatever innocence she has left on... Also, like, that's gotta be the dumbest shit. Like, let's just kill everything on the planet except for us. This surely could have no repercussions whatsoever. Oh my lord. Okay, we might accidentally end the game a couple years early if we get, you know, locked up for life. But let's see how it goes. Put a stop to Tangent's secret project. Tangent goes with you to confront Governor Lum. She looks scared. Lum is alone in the bridge. This is your chance to try to convince him to change course on this genocidal virus. Good thing my persuasion is, 3. 3 whole things. Lum looks up from his holopalm when you enter. What is it? He snaps. I'm busy. Tangent raises her chin, takes a breath, steady her nerves beside you. Nope, she's still willing to go through with this. You tell Governor Lum that you know everything about the bioengineered plague he intends to unleash upon the planet, how he pressed Instance and Tangent into creating it under threat of death, and how it will kill every living thing on Vertumna. Lum listens intently, his face growing colder as you speak. When you're done, he gives you a stern look. You don't understand what you're talking about, Solana. I'm the governor here. I make the decisions, not you. I mean, I'm not going to throw that on Tangent. Just told me we found an Instance lab. All her notes and recordings, even her personal logs about her concerns over how they haven't managed to find a way to neutralize the dangerous fauna without causing a complete ecological collapse. Lum's face goes red, but he's uncharacteristically somber. I don't know how you got this, he says slowly, but it is damning. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. You stare at Lum. That's it? He gives you an exasperated look. That means you can go, he orders. Leave before I change my mind and throw you in the brig on espionage. Espionage? Who am I spying for? The mushrooms? You averted what could only have been the complete destruction of Vertumnan ecosystem and saved Instance's life. You can breathe a little easier today. Wow. I feel like we've done as well as we could. Because, wow, things are real iffy around here behind the scenes, and I don't like it. We've stopped the Shimmer from legitimately raking through half of our populace, especially my father, and I'm not going to apply to be a hunter. That sounds awful. And we've also... Nothing else here, looks like. Pretty normal stuff. Okay. That's fine. Stop Tangent from well, I mean, it wasn't Tangent's fault, considering it was... Feel to use that to murder her now? Yeah, probably, but I can't really do much about it, can I? It was either that or literal collapse. Immediate collapse, even. Hello, Sim. How you doing? I think you see Sim running through the trees up ahead near the edge of the cliff. You call out to him, but your voice is drowned out by the screeching roar that shakes the forest. A manticore. You're feeling a remarkable lack of self-preservation today, so you holster your scanner and follow the noise through the trees. Find Sim fending off not one but 3 manticores at the edge of the cliff, his back to the fatal drop behind. He's bleeding profusely from his hairline, his left arm hangs useless at his side. He doesn't even register your presence as he tries to calm the beast with soothing sounds. One of the manticores knocks him off his feet, and your heart lurches as a spray of stones clatter down the cliff. The beasts have him completely at their mercy. The lead manicore's delicate feet pin Sim's tattered clothing to the ground, spittle drooling from his misshapen jaws, and you watch Sim's expression twist in the motion you've never seen him before. Fear. Am I about to have to survive? And make sure we can get this poor sucker back alive. 2, 3, 4... Wait. 4, 5. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. It would literally just have ended life. It would have been like a miserable slog for the last 2 years where we have no food left and it just... Oof. Marvel Snap Stream someday? It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. They've got a PC version of it that I play pretty regularly. But it just doesn't look good because it was designed for mobile. But I think they're working on it. Like a widescreen version of it. Like a Hearthstone level of it. Someone using all your strength and then more, you defeat the lead manicore. The 2 smaller ones scatter, hissing their displeasure and biting at each other. With the death of their alpha, negotiating their new pack dynamics to distract them for a while. I'm fine, he gasps. Sim waves you off with the arm that doesn't hang limp at his side. I feel pain, but it does not control my behavior as much as it seems to in humans. Sorry. I'm taken. Sim is barely standing upright after that battle. Truly, he wasn't much help this time, and it seems as though, despite your best efforts, his strength is fading fast. He stumbles into you, knocking you both to the ground. He lands on top of you, your legs intertwined, and his weight pressed you into the dirt. Oof, he gasps. My hero, he murmurs. His eyes fall to your lips. Get away from me. No, my apologies. My research into human relationships via your holographic videos gave me the impression this is what your kind does after a near-death experience. It's quite exhilarating. We're both startled by a crashing sound. One of the 2 remaining manticores breaks through the tree line. Oh, no. He's really coming after us. Run, Sim gasps, pulling you both to your feet. Gives you a push, starts running parallel to the cliff. Try and get some distance before it's safe to duck back into the trees. You don't hear Sim behind you. You whirl around just in time to see Sim clash with the manticore, grappling him with its huge front claws that pushes him closer to the edge of the cliff with dancer-like strength. Go, Sim yells. Please, slide aside, just go. You don't even have a chance to be a hero. The manticore takes Sim next in jaws and he screams in pain. I think I'll be fine. I kind of just don't... I don't believe it. Though that's great art. That's good. Sim locks eyes with you once more as time slows to a crawl and speeds up as he grabs hold of the manticore and launches him backwards off the cliff. They're gone before you can scream. You rush to the edge too late to catch even his trailing, tattered coat. It's a long way down. The wind buffets your face viciously. You try to blink away the image of their bodies falling through the air, now seared into your memory. You turn away from the smudges at the bottom of the cliff, but you still see it. You sit down stunned and stay that way for a long time. How can he be gone just like that? Dead? Look, I get it, but I also... I don't believe that he's dead. There won't be any funeral for him, the alien who would be human. It's not like you can bring his remains home to be properly recycled. It's a small comfort that at least out there it wouldn't be long till nature takes its course. Sim would have probably wanted that, you think. With a heavy heart, you return to the transport station. You just want to go home. Probably just grow himself a new body. Yeah, and like his vat. That's what I thought, too. He'll be fine. And if he doesn't show up again, don't clip this. And play it to me, because I'll cry. I will be extremely sad. Also, here's a stick. Wait, how... You holding up okay? What do you mean? What? No one should even know that this person is dead. Unless somebody died while I was gone. Sorry, I'm not really good at cheering people up. Well, that's fair. Know your limits. Or they're worried about the meeting with the big cheese. That is also very possible. Could have rippled throughout the colony. Maybe... or is this how everyone reacts when I'm moderately sad? They're like, oh, he's a little depressed? Oof. Tend the animals. Animals and empathy. Yeah, animals and empathy, shall we? Keep between round. 4, 5, 6, 8. I don't know. Oh, you know what? No. We'll do like a 3, 4, 5. Yeah. That was less. Fun fact. How long does this take? By 3 months. Got it. Well, in that case, let's do it again. We're 95, 55, 58. Yeah, let's just do it again. Get the animals maxed out. Nice. Hey, maxed it out. Good for us. Glowing time. New perk. Upgrade pet cards again. Ah, I can make level 3 pets now. Excellent. So Sim said something about I needed to search during glow for the next part of this secret. A way darker interpretation of that was that gardeners knew that Sim was helping us and sent those manticores kind of in response. I don't think that's what happened, but, you know, it's still, you know, food for thought. Spooky food for thought, in fact. What do we got this time? No time to be exploring. Utopia? Come on, stop it. Just get out of here. Alright, Supply Depot. All those card values become wild. Plus 30 engineering, not needed. Plus 15 all skills, not really needed. That seems kind of interesting. Let's grab that. Cool. Any thoughts about this? That's fine. You like eggs. I don't even want to talk to you. You're like Crimson Chin Light. It's unpleasant. Stands to reason there will be some sort of attack this glow, as there has been in other years, Tam says, looking out to the walls. My hypothesis, each attack will grow in intensity until we are routed from the planet, or become the dominant species. With how difficult this year was on our food supplies, we're certainly entering this season at a disadvantage. Yeah. Anyways, here I have some medicinal roots. Hey Pops, how's it going? Pay attention to the planet during glow. It feels different. It's like a hum. Maybe from the plants. Heck, maybe the wormhole. You might be more right than you know, Pops. Hear that? Usually all the critters make more noise than this. Wonder what's going on. Nothing good. Anyways, here's a fruit. Anything else to say? What do you say, Dis? Nature's gonna win in the end. It always does. Yeah, probably right. So edgy, though. Can't apply to work in the kitchen because I'm just so bad at organizing myself. Life Sciences, Assist in Med Bay. Right. Right. Not applying for guard duty or lookout duty. Not touching that. I want to kind of relax and see if we can upgrade our pets to tier 3. I didn't see anything that really stood out to me. So, relaxing in the park it is. It's the Hop Eye we met before. Mrs. Hoppington lets out a happy trill of recognition. Other Hop Eye trills as well and explodes out from under the bush, pounds happily with Mrs. Hoppington. They chitter excitedly at each other, and you hear something else is making noise. Oh, God. 5 baby Hop Eyes, pink and hairless. The strange adult Hop Eye stops what it's doing, bounces over to you, warming you with a rattling hiss. Oh, okay. I didn't ask for this, but that's fine. So it doesn't matter what we throw down, it still counts as a straight, right? And it can also be 3 of a kind. That's nutty. At this point, like, I could just toss whatever down there, and they don't care at all. I just do that, and it's like, hey, you got 58 points. Okay, I think we've broken the game. We got Hop Eye 3. Excellent. You've been working with Squidly Feederson for months on getting them to follow simple commands. You're getting pretty consistent results with 1 or 2 at a time, but they get bored and wander away if you try to do a longer session. Set up a small obstacle course in the garden consisting of a few ramps and balancing beams. Squidly Feederson looks at the treats in your hand expectantly. Yeah, I mean, I can just kind of, like, toss this stuff in. It's like, yeah, that was great. Good work. And I can be like, 2, 3, so it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, you did 51 points there. Wow. And you just... I was like, it's fucking 4, 5, 6, I don't know. Victorious. You're good. A stunning show from young Squidly Feederson. Admirable speed and dexterity. They and their trainers last night are promising new stars in the field. Freaky training. I trained a freaky to follow commands. Don't care about that, sorry. Just putting your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh. Couldn't have waited till you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch colony defense begin to mobilize. Your holopalm chimes with the usual reminders for any civilian colonists to stay indoors. Well, out we go. Head to the garrison to grab a plasma rifle and report to the front. Chief Rhett looks surprised to see you, but assigns you to a squad with them and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. The other side of the walls is more Xenos than you've seen in one place ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivorous and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying, crawling, and hopping towards colony with a single-minded determination. They are filled with a pew of laser rifles, laser turrets, and the crack of plas rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos, just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The firebreak turns into a graveyard of dead and dying alien bodies, wave after wave crawling over the corpses till they roil at the base of the walls like a foam on a wave. When it hits the shore, you hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. There's no sun to set and glow, but night falls on the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger on your plas rifle. Finally relieved by second guard shift, you walk into the garrison right into a dreamless sleep. You're woken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchens have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations, hot blep tea, which you grab and make your way back to the walls. Survey the carnage of the night. Security personnel, we are under siege. Security chief says, getting right to the point. On Earth, sieges were used to break a city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food or water. Guards will rotate 6 hours on and off, so long as... I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for one fight. I am not built for this. I am very tired. As long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of that wall, we hold them off for days. Weeks, even. Weeks. Everyone exchanges exhausted looks. We can do this. We're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere. You and the other soldiers fall into a fitful rhythm, alternating shifts on the wall with brief snippets of sleep. Gunfire becomes the soundtrack of your days, which begin to smear together like paste. Nem in particular is suffering. She volunteers for relief shifts, sometimes pulling doubles or triples on the wall. Catch her mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. Interlayer, she jolts awake as someone's spoon clatters against her bowl. Tempers grow short as fatigue sets in. 6 days pass. You're on shift watching the Xenos batter themselves against the walls. Feeling your eyes unfocused at the sheer formless horde of them, and all of these days they still haven't breached the colony. Sometimes they even seem to retreat, heading backwards and reforming somewhere else. It's behavior you've never seen before. A group of monsters breaks from the tree line, nothing new, except for one of them. One of the Xenos looks different from the others, almost humanoid. I don't look like any humans I've ever seen. Unless you're talking about from Nuclear Throne. Just Gun God. Is that Sim? Is that what Sim looks like? I don't like that hair. Sure it's not. Sure it's fine. Looks suspiciously like a person, at least from the waist up. Down below, it's a lumbering chimera vaguely reminiscent of a faceless, wrapped in tattered bits of flesh and bony protrusions. Something like hair flutters behind it as it turns and looks right at you with an unnerving, malevolent intelligence. It's even got like a flower gun over your eyes. Yeah, it's still there. Approaches to the base of the wall, and the other monsters search forward on the pound against the gates. Hey, is that you, Sim? And the creature sneers and approaches the wall. Little weed. They address you in a halting, rasping voice. Everything seems to go quiet as you strain to understand this talking horror. Child of breeding rabbits, feral pig, kudzu. Its unnervingly human gaze pierces you. Introduced species. You understand? You wonder if you're hallucinating. Is it holding a gun? You slowly nod yes. I am Noctilucent, the monster says through a voice box that seems better suited to guttural roars than human language. A gardener. Designation. Pest control. I perform my task. Unlike gardener symbiosis. Sim. Yes. Now they're standing still. You can see the seed of Sim's slightly inhuman features staring back at you. Their hair is a bit like Sim's as well. As if it's actually alive somehow, waving in a wind that isn't there. Why are you trying to kill us? Who are you talking to? You jump as Nem sneaks up behind you and you look back. Noctilucent is gone. That alien was talking. I don't know if I want a -1. Guess I'll just say nobody. You promised Sim you wouldn't talk about the gardeners, not the pets or something. Siege is getting to everyone's side. It's okay. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you look down. The sights of your plasma. Maybe they did kill Sim. It's fine. I'm not gonna mourn him. I'm sick of mourning people. Surely no other people died after. Monsters are retreating. As you gather with the other soldiers in the colony square, your holophone lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Lum. The alien attackers have been defeated. The siege has ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertuma. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome, you hear, and see Chief Rhett nearby looking like... What did he do? Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard, defend strategically unsound positions, put himself in danger so he had to save his overstuffed ass? The soldiers all sift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. When I actually needed him, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts, Rhett continues. Soldiers are exhausted from the siege. The crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. I get the feeling things are going to get militaristically bad soon. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing the xenocorpses for their component molecules. That night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of plasma rifle fire arcing overhead. With your talon claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing, choking handfuls of it in your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking, coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't sleep again before dawnbreak. I wouldn't either. Good lord. Finished up on some blues, got some animals, and 35, 62, 33, 92, 44, 86. Start age 18. You had plans to hang out with Cal today when you arrive in Geeponics Dome. It's worryingly dark inside. You fumble around the red emergency lighting until all the lights come back with a heavy ka-chunk of a breaker being flipped. You blink into the sudden blinding light until the figures of Cal and Chief Engineer Instance resolve themselves in your vision. Absolutely no more of that, young man, Instance scolds Cal as he cradles his hoverboard in his arms. The power grid is not your plaything. I understand, Auntie, Cal says. I'm sorry. Instance mutters herself, she passes over you. Honestly, all this over a toy. Hey, dude, Cal greets you. Sorry. Might be outside after work, but my board wouldn't start, and I figured it was maybe out of juice, but when I plugged it in, it threw off all these sparks, and the whole power grid shut down. I was going to ask Dr. Instance to take a look at it, but she told me he doesn't have time to fix a dumb toy. Let me take a look at it. Okay, guess you are pretty good at fixing things. On the hoverboard, poke around its guts for a little while. About 20 minutes, you think you have it figured out. You rewire it so power no longer flows through the burned out capacitor. Just stick a little duct tape in there and close the casing. It floats, it hovers even. Radical, Cal shouts and covers his mouth with his hands. I mean, that is totally cool, Slonesai. Thank you so much. Celebrate, Cal lets you take the first spin on the board. Looks like a wild animal under your feet, and Cal catches you as you stumble off it. Careful, that first step was a doozy. He laughs. Let's look at the notice board. Good, orange. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, considering. Anything new from Mars here? Llama's a disaster. You don't believe some of the reforms he's blocked. I think I would. I'd be surprised on any he didn't block at this point. Anything new? Nope. Not the 4th exploration place yet. Oh, okay, Dis. I thought we were pretty good friends. I mean, you're my 4th bestest friend. But, alright. I'm gonna give you a cool flower. Yeah, take that. Respond to your rudeness with kindness. I'm afraid that the festival next year is gonna be, this year, I guess, is gonna be like a hunting excursion at this point. Like a, I don't know. Your eyes fall to a spectacular line of hickeys that travel down his neck, disappears under his harness. He sees you look in, laughs. Unashamed, he pulls down the fabric of the harness to show that they go much farther down than that. Me, I'm good. Real good, if you catch my drift. Alright, hug time. And also, here's some wood. Alright, still trying to build that bar. Oh. Spot Rex carrying supplies and big pieces of wood into the construction site at the end of the lounge, the future home of his bar. He waves at you, well, much as a wave he can do with his arms full of mushwood. Hey, Slonesai, things are going great in here, thanks to you. It'll be done in no time. Take a look at what you see. Rex kept it all pretty tarped up, and hates letting people inside to peek, but you can tell it's big, perhaps a little too big? Ambitious, maybe, for a first solo construction project, but Rex had a lot of help from his crew and from the whole colony. You'd have to be able to find enough wood. I'd love to see it. Well, he sighs, biting his lip, but he gets the sense he's dying to share it with someone. Okay, but just for you. You follow him into the tent. It's chaos inside, littered with pieces of mushwood of varying lengths covered in fine sawdust. Light coming in from gaps in the tent pick up all the sparkling motes of dust, making it seem almost magical. Well, this is it. Well, so far. We would bar and a dance floor. That's all you really need. He swipes open his hollow palm, starts playing some music that shimmies over the open. Only clear spot in the mess must be the dance floor. I'll just watch. I'm not a dancer. Rex just shrugs, completely unruffled by your hesitation. He bops around the dance floor by himself, swinging his hips, doing some fancy footwork. You can see the future of this place. A place where people come not because they're stressed and need to relax, but they can really cut loose and enjoy themselves. Maybe you're too shy right now, but Rex had the right idea. Rex comes over to you, slings you into one-arm hug. Just seeing you makes me super energized. I almost hear the music now. That's right, bar's gonna have live music. You know anyone who plays an instrument? I'm gonna work double time to finish this place. And if you want to help, bring me all the mushwood you can find. I will, but I can only give it to you in small doses. It's like an inoculation. We never actually have to do hand-to-hand combat. Seems like a bad idea. I agree. Anyways, can I offer you an egg in this trying time? You find Tange puzzling over a large holoscreen, making notes on her holo and frowning over them. As you approach, she gestures to wipe the holoscreen clean and start again. Ugh, she sighs, taking a break to rub her temples. Okay, Tange, come on, think. Come up beside her and she startles. Oh, Slansai, hello. I'm in the middle of running simulations on genetic diversity over the next few generations. You're welcome to see. It'll affect all of us, most likely. Tange pulls up the next genogram simulation, a family tree encompassing all the people in the colony, their familial relationships, and genetic conditions. We have an unusually high amount of hereditary heart disease, no matter how you slice it, she mutters. Luck of the draw. Lost quite a bit more genetic diversity than the original geneticists of the Vertumna project anticipated. That's not even counting those unwilling or unable to reproduce. She crosses her arms. It's possible to steer the ship out of it, so to speak, and take some purposeful breeding choices for at least 5 to 6 generations. May I verify your data? Sounds crude, but the colony will need to accept a certain level of oversight in this matter if we intend to survive, genetically speaking. Artificial insemination of material from Earth donors, even in love matches, for example. You stare at the genogram till your eyes cross and shake your head. It's terrifying complex, isn't it? Imagine, this process happens all the time naturally. Why any sweating beast can squirt a child into the dirt. Well, it's all just proteins and luck, but the end result is this. It's beautiful in a way. In a long enough timescale, we can predict the genetic drift of a species. And face that, the family bonds matter. It's not if sharing genes with someone guarantees you'll be a strong family unit. Does anyone really like their parents? That seems a little eugenics-y, but more importantly, I did. You tell Tange you loved your dad and you loved your mom in a way. She was a hard ass, but she died selflessly for the people she loved. That has to count for something. Tange rolls her eyes. As for my own family, I feel no allegiance to any of them based on blood. If I had no family at all, that would be acceptable. Don't you miss your mother? You mean the depressed drunk who died when I was a kid? No, not at all. If it wasn't for Chief Steward Anne, probably wouldn't still be alive. I'm ashamed we're even related. Literally all he does is go out on expedition and talk to trees. Who even knows where he is right now? Do you want kids someday? Truthfully, I'm not entirely certain I can bear children. There must be a limit to my gen-engineered body. Certainly didn't experience puberty to the extent that Mars did, for example. Besides, children would only distract me from my work. Chief Engineer never had children after all. I think that's admirable. Tange's gaze flicks over to where Chief Engineer is talking to one of the lab assistants. In some ways, I'm the child she never had, and she's the mother I wished I did have, she says quietly. Instance and I became close when we started the gender affirmation process, and it was so obvious then. We were kindred spirits. Over the years, when I could come in for checkups and observation, we often talked about the science behind the process. Of course, I showed an interest in it, and Instance fostered that in me. She supported me. Tange looks at the ground. Unlike my own mother, who by that point had ceased to find joy in almost anything. Ugh. What would I be without Instance, Tange says. The only things I have in life are what she gave me, not just this body. But my passion, my hard work, and my achievements. Without her, I'd have nothing or everything. You're more than just what she made you to be. You don't understand, Solanas. I'm not burdened by this debt to Instance. I love what she helped me become. I'm grateful. And if you excuse me, she says, turning back to the genotype, I have our legacy to plan. Just sounds... does sound a little eugenicsy. I will not lie. Let's go assist in the medbay for now. You report to your first shift as Dr. Instance's nursing assistant. Instance was never supposed to be the literal doctor for everyone in the colony. All the medical needs were supposed to be covered by the med beds and eventually the trained medical professionals from your generation. With a growing number of wounded and sick, it's pulling Instance's attention away from her actual work in the lab. That's why she needs help. Doctor, not a physician. Instance grumbles as she swipes through her holopod to give you access to medbay systems. I can study the local xenofauna so it stops killing us, or I can treat burns and upset tummies. I can't do both. There. Should have access. Now, don't bother me for anything less than a cranial bleed. It's a med bed, not a jar of leeches. Just follow the instructions, push the right buttons. Need something. Ask congruence. Can you handle that? I can handle anything. That's spirit. So you and me, Slanisai. High five. You gently bonk Congruence's panel with your open palm, and she laughs. There are no patients today, so you're just going to brush up on first aid. Blood's got to stay inside the body. Lungs got to breathe. Check. You run through quiz scenarios of congruence for a whole week. CPR, ice, flush eyes with water, Leave foreign objects in. Fun fact, in the field, your holopalm can discharge its batteries all at once as a makeshift defibrillator. Well, that's interesting. First aid is important, but the goal is just to get the person stable to bring them to a med bed, and that's when you and Dr. Instant take over. Might only be a matter of life and death. No biggie. It's fine. We're just gonna toss all of this in here. Easy peasy. We got 66. Somehow that's not the most, though, and I don't know what we could have done better there, but it's fine. You rolled out of bed at noon because you're allowed to, because it's your birthday, but also because you're exhausted. You barely slept at all last night. Been having these nightmares since the siege, more and more every night, like they're trying to tell you something urgent. Oh god. Tomorrow's stream's gonna be a bloodbath. Can't make any sense of it. All the imagery is jumbled together, all these possibilities, timelines, and things that might happen. Some nights you wake up in a cold sweat, the scream already in your throat. You sit on the edge of your bed, run a hand through your hair, and check your hollow palm. A few people wish you happy birthday, but that's all. Yes, you're getting older. Birthdays aren't as important as they used to be. Right, and Mars wants to meet you for lunch today. You have to practice your smile as you enter the lounge. Surprise! Your very best to play along next surprise. Ooh, streamers, balloons, great. All your friends are standing around wearing goofy hats and clapping. Nomi is holding a bunch of balloons larger than they are. And Rex is wearing a cute little waiter's outfit with a bow tie. Disagree. You accept their hugs and birthday wishes, trying to hide your exhaustion and demurring with a pew pointed, all this for me? You shouldn't have. No, really. Maybe you need to try and find Mushroom Man? Mushroom Man! Mushroom Man. Do you know the Mushroom Man? Just looked at chat. Second the Marvel Snap idea. You can even challenge viewers. Yeah, Josh wanted to know how many hours you played the Diablo 4 beta this weekend. And no, I don't want to challenge viewers. Well, I do. I'll challenge all the bad viewers, so you are straight out. I'm sorry. Rex wanders around with a tray full of little snacks, offering them to everyone with a vampy accent and a silly, airheaded giggle. The goofball act chips away at the natural awkwardness of a surprise party. It is the first 5 minutes after everyone shouts surprise, and soon everyone's laughing and enjoying themselves. Despite your exhaustion, you start to smile too. Friends are so amazing. They're all here because they care about you. I have a friendship of like 4 with you, but alright. Then you get some unexpected guests. I mean, that should be expected. She's my best friend, but okay. Lounge begins filled with Helio kids, mostly ones you don't know, the ones who usually keep to themselves, and the not much like you, original Stratosphere kids. Face and Nem are with them, his arm draped over his shoulders. Nem gives you a little wave of acknowledgement for your birthday, which earns a weird look from Face. Wow. Okay. Cool. Hey, you invited you guys, Cal says. This is a private party. It's a public lounge, Face replies. We can sit wherever we want. Cal stomps right into the midst of the Helios. You guys think that just because you fell out of the sky, you're the wormhole's gift to Vertumna, he spits out. We don't need you. Never needed you. You do is make things worse, like this party. We've rarely seen Cal so ready for a fight. Doesn't seem to care his body language of the Helio kids has changed from cocky to dangerous. You're just a bunch of fascists. You and Lum. Lounge erupts, chairs screeching across the floor as the Helios... Go easy. Probably only 10 or 15. Alright. Calling the colony illegal and Cal a fugitive, they jostle around. Cal plants his feet and stands his ground. You hear a bottle breaking and see someone advancing on Cal. Okay. Nem, I'm gonna need you to stop. Thanks. Okay, stut it out. It's Solanasai's birthday. Don't make it a big thing. Seem to respect her, so they back down, but not for a few parting, libelous shots at Cal's parentage and alleged actions with animals. She turns Cal and pokes a finger at her chest. You broke them on purpose, she says angrily. I'm not your friend anymore. Don't ask me to stick up for you if you're being an asshole. Well, Mars exclaims, clapping her hands. That was enough excitement, I think. Let's move on to the important part, cake and presents. Under Mars' skillful party-hosting hand, the mood shifts back to festive. You enjoy your presents and your cake, but tensions boiling over like that is a bad omen for the rest of the year. Ain't that the truth? I think I have one more piece of wood for you right now. Nope. Well, it doesn't matter. Anything there? Nope. Nope. You want to go see if we can find the Mushroom Man? We'll forage in the valley. The Mushroom Man would be to the bottom right. Yeah, I mean, we are dangerously close to a... Oops. Well, it's freaky. I'll just find another route, because I can actually just walk around. That's power perception, baby. Okay, this time we go this way, right, because that was where Sim was, and Sim is dead, but not really, right? Right? I'm sure it's fine. Bravery, 59 to 16, almost thing. A lot of stuff here. I should get back into Marvel Snap. It's been a month or two since I've really touched it. Gross. Manscore has cornered a little hop eyes playing with it. Hey, break it up! Break it up! That's a 3, and that's a 2. And then I'll just do that. That's fine, and don't worry about it. That's this and that and this. That's fine. Yep. Okay. Yeah. And that's that and that and that and that and that. It's totally fine. Strategy doesn't happen that way. I put on my scary face. The Manticore is so annoyed by your throwing rocks and making a ruckus it turns its attention towards you. It roars in anger. Shivers of fear run up your spine. That's definitely a better scary face than yours. The Hop-Eye had been playing dead, suddenly leaps to its feet and bounds off into the jungle. Manticore is now very angry with you. It rears up and digs its claws into your tree. Hold on for dear life as the tree shakes. Roars and rustles its mane at you, pacing back and forth under the tree, and then it sniffs around when the Hop-Eye had been, grunts last time in frustration, and wanders into the jungle. Let's go home. That was where the Mushroom Men were before. Ain't there no more. Late Quiet is the last month I want. Oh, Nem's there. Something's off with Nem today. Tell just from watching her train she's moving more slowly and seems distracted. Every so often she breaks form to stare at Vase working with a group of trainees on the other side of the garrison. Her unit leader singles her out and chastises her, gesturing for her to take a break, get her head on straight. Nem scowls when she slinks over to the rest of her and hand her a water bottle. Hey you. Shooting a little flicker of a smile, she takes a drink. What's up? Vase isn't talking to me. It's been 2 days and he just acts like I'm not even here. Tried to talk to him, he just says he needs time to think. Got into it about how much time you and I spend together. He thinks you like me. I told him it's not like that, we're just friends, but... Vase is right not to trust me. I'm crazy. The problem is he just doesn't know you that well. He doesn't trust you around me, that's all. Nem wouldn't like that. But, it's true, so... What? How could you say that, Solanasai? Yeah, I know, he's still my boyfriend. The way he treats you is not healthy. What do you mean, Solanasai? Do you like when he accuses you? No, obviously. What's that got to do with anything? The problem isn't you, it's him. Tell her she shouldn't have to constantly prove herself to Vase. Never thought about that way. Nem replies. It's like we have this argument all the time. He gets mad because he thinks I was talking to someone too long because I said something that set him off. And when you talk to him about it, well, he gets really upset that I'm upset with him, and I have to apologize and reassure him I love him. It's always this whole thing. I'm so tired of it, you know? I don't know what else to do. I don't know if there's anything else I can do. I don't know what to think. I'll talk to him about it and see what he says. He deserves a chance to explain himself, but I don't know if he'll be able to. Thank you for talking to me about this, Solanasai. My best friend on the whole planet. The real fucked up thing would be dating her after that, but we're not that vindictive yet. We'll be vindictive after we see what Vase does in the future. But not this time. One more exploration in the Ridge. 2 Paragon? Just this playthrough. Just this one. Come on. There's multiple playthroughs here. We're learning about the story. Figuring out what's going on. We have a pyramid, a central pyramid to explore still in this area, from what I remember. I already told you, even minor mean things make me squeamish in games. I don't like it. I still don't know. They just say, what is this strange device? They don't even say, ah, you've picked up a this or that. Hello, person that definitely isn't dead. I feel better about this now. You're taking a sample at the base of the tree when you feel around something patter off your head and fall to the ground. It's a nut? That's strange. This species usually doesn't. You look up and your stomach lurches when you realize you've been watched this whole time. A pair of familiar eyes peers down at you from the branches. It's Sim? Grins down at you. Well, well, well. If it isn't the little human, have you come to visit me, Sugarbug? It's an alien ghost. Blah! You fall backwards into the earth. Sim just laughs like a bird from his perch till you calm down. If you did witness my death, I apologize. Sim continues. He leans down from his branch, his long hair dangling just out of reach. I imagine I didn't enjoy it much either. I guess I'm happy you're alive? I wish everyone felt that way. One of my associates seems to feel otherwise. A confused look, he waves his hands. One of the other gardeners, Noctilucent. They really don't care for you humans, I'm afraid, and they're aware I've taken an interest in you. With a soft woof. Sim drops gracefully out of the tree and dusts himself off. Claps you on the shoulder. Watch out for them if I were you. They're quite dangerous. Sim turns to leave, but you sputter and grasp his sleeve. You can't just, after all that. You deserve some answers, real ones. He owes you that. Are you really Sim? The one and the same, Sim answers. I acknowledge this is difficult for you to understand. He takes a deep breath. Humans have but one short window of consciousness, which encourages you to think of yourselves as individual points in the line of history. You're quite clearly not your parents, or your grandparents, or your unborn children. You're your own marvelous creature. I do not disappear when this form dies. I am eternal, in a sense. I am all who came before, and I am all who will come after. I am my own legacy. I am symbiosis. What do you really do here? Well, I'm a gardener. Sim gives you a blank smile. He says simply, I was created to be a gardener, and I imagine I will be one until my services are no longer required. Your look of confusion, Sim softens. Humanity is so concerned with purpose, he says sadly, is because you are not created for one, and you spend the entirety of your short lives under the impression you need one. The concept of someone having a purpose must be seductive. My existence is simple. I act in the ways for which I was created. It is not an interesting answer for an individualistic species as yourselves. I'm aware, perhaps, we must both accept that it may be beyond the human capacity to comprehend. I wasn't dating anyone. To Paragon. Sorry, I didn't want the plague to wipe out all biodiversity and essentially doom us. Tilts his head to the side, listening to something, squeezes your hand. Fear I've said too much. I hope I can see you again soon, and that all may be revealed to you. Yeah, see, I get the feeling that when that happens, I'm just gonna be dead, you know? Oh well. I really came here for the... I don't know, he said I needed these, so... Actually, what's my friendship with Sim at, by the way? 80. Yeah, I think the friendship with Sim goes a long way. Is that where I'm supposed to be? I can't remember, because it's different. It's the Thumper. Oh, no, it is. Back to the large pyramid in the center. Look for one of the elevator monoliths near the pyramid and find it, but it's overgrown with snaking vines and brambles with very large flowers all over. You can push through them, but this stops you and shows you a Geiger counter. These flowers seem to be radioactive. Your suit won't protect you for long. That's okay. Let's get really stressed out. You soon realize your mistake as the radiation illness sets in. Brushing by those flowers gives you a big dose. You'll be sick for days and need radiation treatment when you return, but for now you continue, drawn irresistibly forward by something that sings in your head. You enter the elevator, thankfully still working, and descend beneath the ground. It opens to a kind of antechamber room with an exit at the other end, leading to the heart of the pyramid. There are glyphs carved into crystal panels on the walls, symbols that resemble the wormhole. You start across the room. The further you go, the more your head swims. You have to pause. You think you might faint, and it isn't just the radiation. There's something down here, some great energy, and it's making your head hurt. Shake your head, trying to clear it. Wait, maybe this is a bad idea. No, just gonna keep going. Fog slowly clears from your eyes. Your head still hurts, but you can think again. This looks concerned, even going so far as to reach out to steady you. You okay? Let's try to explain it to him. You just say, my head hurts. Obviously. No, it's more than that. You're seeing things. It's kind of like the array. Kind of like a dream, but you feel something super important is up ahead and you need to see it. Maybe we better leave, Dis says nervously. You don't look so good. Anyways, continuing on. Past the antechamber is a long hallway sloping down. Things around you are starting to look kind of weird, like two slightly different realities overlapping. Dis's face is starting to phase in and out of existence. You're hit with a strong wave of dizziness and nausea. Things seem to move in slow motion, but also far too fast. Stress less than 100, reasoning 50 or great. I mean, I can do both. Isn't that great? Anyways, we'll concentrate mind over matter. At the bottom of the hallway are more crystal panels on the walls, many facets broken. Are they whole? Walls have crumbled and roots creep over everything, but also they don't. Every time you blink, the room seems to flip and swim between the two realities. All the same, you feel absolutely compelled to continue. What is with this place? This is both here and not there. Part of him which exists looks concerned. You need to leave now, he says. This place is hurting you. Round iris door at the end of the hall. Are you sure you want to go any further? Heck yeah. One more room. Still surviving. You pass through the doorway into a large square chamber with a sloped ceiling. Your sense of this place, of the vibrations, is telling you it must be directly under the big pyramid of the surface. The floor and even the air thrums with vibrating energy. Ugh, even I can feel it now, too. Dis mutters behind you, rubbing his head. The room is empty except for a raised platform in the middle, which looks enticingly like a bed, which is convenient because you are definitely going to faint this time. You collapse onto the platform and are overcome by a spectacular migraine headache. It feels like your head is going to explode. Let's focus on the pain. And by focus on the pain, I mean we're just going to toss a bunch of these around here, and it's fine, yeah, and we just keep doing stuff like this. It's completely fine, and then that's that, and then we go zippity zoop, and we're zapping, and we're zipping, and we do like a 3 and a 4, just getting a 4 and a 5, boom. All blues are wild, so like just tossing blues there is done. Bravery, empathy, reasoning, engineering, perception, bravery, and empathy again. Oh wow, we hit pay to remove cards in the quarters spa. Wow, interesting. You slip into some kind of waking dream, layers upon layers of visions. This is your lover, or Mars, or Tammy. You're a boy and a girl, or both, or neither, young and old, a farmer, a hunter, a politician. You're dead, you're alive, and you've never been born. Time unravels before you, an infinite tapestry crumbling wherever you look. It's all very weird. You see the web of possibilities and understand what time truly is. It's happening all at once, and none of it will ever happen. It's only sheer chance that any one possibility comes into existence and not any intrinsic truth of the universe or fate. It's just a glimpse, probably over in a second, but a glimpse of an eternity you can hardly fathom. Then you see the wormhole, enormous in a starry sky. You look down and see yourself on a plateau, gazing up at it. You recognize the place, a gnarlwood bluff not far from the colony. Alive with the phosphorescence of glow season, this you seems expectant, as if waiting for something momentous to arrive, something that will change everything. The vision is crystal clear, and you feel in control in a way you haven't since you started having these visions. You know you must go there. You wake up feeling refreshed. Ow, my head. Your headache is gone. You're still a little dizzy, but the room has stopped spinning and returned to one singular reality again. The vibrations have stilled. Solanasai exclaimed. Solanasai, are you okay? I will tell you what I saw. Why didn't I see it? I was there too. I want to know everything. Tell him about your dreams from a past. That's the first time we've seen from a past life. You tell this about how not only did you see all those visions, but that you believe they're real. This is like the only one that would believe this anyways. You live to them, or some of them anyway. They're as real as the life you're living now. He listens intently, then nods. I believe you, he says simply. You look at him in shock, but he just reaches out and puts his hand over yours. I know what it's like when people don't. I'm not going to do that to you. You don't know what any of this means yet, but you're one step closer to figuring it out. You feel like you've just had some kind of mega prophecy, but it was too much all at once and too hard to understand. Could the domain handle this kind of information? Remember past lives like you? Is that what that observatory was meant for? Unlocked Explore, Glow, and Expeditions. Only thing you remember clearly from the visions is the image of yourself during glow season standing at the top of the gnarlwood bluff just outside the colony waiting for something. We only have one... Well, we might have 2 more glows to explore. Depends on if age 19 allows us to explore during the glow, right? It's unsure. Nice to have my dad around, but you can tell they didn't expect him to be there. Nomi. Okay, we're doing fine. Present. One piece of wood coming up. Rex's birthday. Oh, nice. Tackle hug. You turn to the source of the yell. Rex is barreling towards you, arms outstretched. You have about 2 seconds to decide how to react. Alright, bear hug. Stand your ground and throw your arms wide. Rex almost knocks you off your feet with the force of his hugs, but his strong arms don't let you fall. You smell so good, like sweat and dust and sunshine. Sweat doesn't smell good, but okay. I think you're starting to understand this strange Helio boy and his love of hugs. So, looking for me? What you need? I don't know. I just want to say hi. Oh, well, hey yourself. I got back to work, but if you want, you can come see what we're working on. Rex takes you on a tour of the construction site. He's great company, and basking in his excitement is a pleasant way to spend an afternoon. When you wave goodbye to him so you can get back to work, you feel a little bit lighter. Nice. Very cool. Hey, Vase's... Uh-oh. On the way to the garrison, you pass a few young soldiers speaking in hushed tones. They seem to be commiserating over Vase's attitude and training today. Oh boy, you might know what this is about. You spot Vase overseeing a group of soldiers navigating an obstacle course. Pick it up, come on, he snaps. You approach carefully and he acknowledges you with a glance before going back, staring morosely at the trainees. Why so glum, chum? Nothing, just a bunch of bullshit. Alright, well, fine, be that way. I will. I was never going to have some friendship anyways, so... Fine by me. Does Neb have anything to say? Nope. Egg in this trying time, yada yada. I don't know what your friendship is at. I want to max some friendships out, though. Tangent, how you doing? Hello, Slaughter. It's good to see you around the lab. Find that I miss you when you're not here. Isn't that strange? It's not as though you're ever particularly far away. Yeah, anyways, here's that. You're welcome. Alright, I think we're good. Tomorrow will be the end of the first playthrough. And then we'll start right up on see what changes in the second one. Like, will we have a full friend that we won't have die in the first 2 months of the game? Can we save my mother? Etc, etc. But first, I think a lot of terrible things are going to happen in the last year and a half. Very excited. Today wasn't too bad from a death perspective. One of our friends died, but they were still alive. So, in essence, net neutral game. Pretty good stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to leave a follow or just come back, hang out any other time you want. We'll be back tomorrow with more of this. Thursday with more of this. Friday with Resident Evil 4 Remake. So, if any of that trips your trigger, you know where to find us. Until then, though, have a great night. Toodles.